Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. और I hope everyone will be seeing today because it is a crazy match day awaiting us. भाई ये बवाल मचने वाला है इस match day में. This is something that we wait for. भाई when it comes to Champions League, we all know these are the nights you wait for. Or obviously being a Chelsea fan, being a Milan supporter as well to some extent. Yes, we are having a Milan fan as well proper coming in. लेकिन obviously for the big game, Barca के लिए I would say must win. I had to get in one and only the goat that is Zeeshan by the house. Zeeshan भाई क्या timing है क्या हाल है?
All good, Ankit bhai. Thank you so much for having me here. It's an interesting matchup and काफी सारी चीजें जो डिस्कस करनी है. तो thank you so much for having me and hi भाई लोग क्या हाल है?
अरे बिल्कुल बिल्कुल always great to have you bro as always but again big up to Sham Deren thanks for joining as always shout out आपको absolutely Sanjeev LM10 आपको भी shout out absolutely और yes by the way definitely thoughts go to Mbappé यार it's so saddening to hear this पता नहीं जी भाई this is
What
happening time and again you know the guy is
what
actually
happened?
out with a heart problem and he's retired bro as in the Brighton player तो that's like
Moipu.
crazy news इस afternoon ही हुआ है and पता
Oi.
नहीं heart issues is something that I know that it happened a couple of times in the past but it's happening I don't think this has happened so
ये
frequently or I know
पोस्ट
health is
कोविड के
first
सिम्टम्स हैं ये अंकित भाई ये पोस्ट कोविड
yeah
के टाइम पे ये काफी लोगों के साथ हो रहा था.
correct
स्पोर्ट्स
correct
पर्सन ऑब्वियसली वो भी
but yeah thought got
कैच इन हुआ
to him
था.
absolutely hoping like you know मतलब वही है मतलब I heard he got I think ill on a flight or something like that फिर regular checkup के लिए ले गए और then they got to know about this it's good at least they got to know
सैड.
लेकिन हाँ
या
people who know that obviously Bolton का player था I forgot the name but obviously he actually had retired as well I remember that लेकिन कोई नहीं hopefully he'll be fine and wish him all the best Barcelona win हंसी बोल रहे हैं Sue of course भाई talking about goats यार मतलब yesterday we have to say मतलब जी भाई दो वर्ड हो जाए भाई आई नो रोनाल्डो मेसी हम वी सेलिब्रेट लाइक क्रेजी बट वो एक रियलाइजेशन होता है मैंने आज ये वीडियो किया मैंने रियलाइज किया व्हेन आई वाज स्टडीिंग इट भाई द लेजेंड द बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट द ड्रॉगबाज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड ऑनरीज शेवचेंको इंजागी भाई सब लोग के 200 250 या 300 गोल से एंड कोई लेवल ही नहीं यार मतलब रोनाल्डो और मेसी का अलग ही लेवल
नो
ना
मैच. No match of these goals and we all were rooting कि क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो भाई गोल मारे यार काफी टाइम से मतलब हर एक बंदा जब भी मैनचेस्टर का मैच देखे विन आ रही है नहीं आ रही नहीं फर्क पड़ रहा है यार रोनाल्डो गोल मार रहे कि नहीं मार रहे सो एवरीवन वाज रूटिंग एंड प्रोबब्ली ओमोनिया के मैच में मुझे तो लगता है ये सारी टीम मैनचेस्टर की वो ट्राइंग कि क्रिस्टियानो वो गोल मार पाए सो वो मिस उस दिन काफी सारे हुए उनसे बट येस्टरडे ही केम इन क्लच और क्या ही गोल मारा यार प्रॉपर क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो गोल लेफ्ट फुट नियर पोल शॉट मुझे वो एल क्लासिको के डेज याद आ गया जहाँ पे विक्टर वाल्डेस के अगेंस्ट वो ऐसे बथेरे गोल मार चुके हैं लेफ्ट एंड राइट हैंड साइड से तो दैट वाज लॉन्ग टाइम कमिंग अंकित भाई यू सॉ दैट दिस गाय वाज डूइंग एवरीथिंग सब कुछ कर रहा था ये बंदा पिच पे बट ओनली थिंग दैट वाज मिसिंग वाज द गोल एंड नाउ इट हैज कम टू 700 क्लब गोल्स 700 गोल्स भाई
और पता नहीं दिस माइट मोटिवेट हिम टू गो लिटिल बिट मोर नोइंग क्रिस्टियानो हु नोस राइट मतलब अभी भी आई नो दैट देयर आर लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चन मार्क्स लेकिन मतलब इट बी मतलब हम लोग खुद के पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारे अगर हम क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं गोट्स को दैट्स द रियलिटी वेदर वी लाइक इट और नॉट
कोई
यू नो
क्यों ही करना क्वेश्चन कोई करना है यार ठीक है मतलब देखते कैसे जा रहा है बट वही
बिल्कुल
सैड फील होता है ना वन जब उनका स्लंप आता है एंड वी ऑल वर लाइक भाई क्या
यप
हो रहा है क्यों नहीं गोल स्कोर कर पा रहे हैं मेसी क्यों नहीं गोल स्कोर कर पा रहा है रोनाल्डो क्यों नहीं कर पा रहा सो पीपल टॉक बट हियर दे आर
Absolutely. Yes, by the way, thank you, Kavalia, for sharing this. Yes, it's heredity in this in his case. But well,
हेरिडिटी
yeah, at the end of the day, well, we hope that he gets well. But again, coming to Champions League, मतलब, everyone knows we all wait for this night. I know, मतलब हम हर एक ग्रुप का डिस्कस करेंगे लेकिन obviously with you know Barca Ultra in Z by being here and of course you know we are awaiting a Milan fan we'll be discussing Chelsea Milan game absolutely भाई लेकिन बार्सिलोना का शुरू करते हैं ग्रुप सी से शुरू करते हैं पहले आई नो दैट इंटर मिलान के साथ जो मैच था फर्स्ट लेग लास्ट वीक controversial to say the least in terms of the refereeing and all those things लेकिन सच्चाई क्या है जी भाई मतलब in terms of जो performance रही है I saw your video as well जो आपने निकाला सुबह in terms of what happened against Celta
जी
what is something is missing यार मतलब I don't know I must say that there's something missing what is missing in your opinion last 3-4 हफ्तों में specifically
अंकित सर पहले तो ना हमारे डिफेंस में वो राइट प्लेयर्स आर मिसिंग एंड क्योंकि बारसा इतना डिपेंडेंट है इन बिल्डिंग आउट द प्ले फ्रॉम द बैक दैट स्पेशली हमारा एक राइट बैक जो खेलते हैं कुंडे यू नो having the right player in the right position सेंटर बैक में क्रिश्चियनसन was a rock was a very important player मैं कह रहा था लोगों से क्रिश्चियनसन has been our best signing this season एंड आई रियलाइज नाउ क्रिस्टियनसन, देखो उसके एब्सेंस की वजह से कितना ज्यादा हम स्ट्रगल कर रहे थे अपने डिफेंस में। बट देन येस्टरडे वाला गेम, अंकित भाई आपने देखा कि बार्सा ने 3 लेफ्ट बैक खिला दिए, जैसे कि डेरियन भाई यहाँ पे कह रहे हैं अलोंसो प्लेइंग एज अ सेंटर बैक, कीपिंग क्लीन शीट इज अ मिरेकल। तो वही मैं कह रहा हूँ कि ऑल्दो गेम के पर्सपेक्टिव से इट वाजंट अ गुड गेम, इट वाज अ हाईली फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग गेम। फर्स्ट हाफ अच्छा था, सेकंड हाफ बहुत पुअर था। इट लुक लाइक कि वी वरंट इनटू द गेम, हमें कंपटीशन भी नहीं कर रहे हैं। सेल्टा स्मेल्ड कि बार्सिलोना आर नॉट एट देयर बेस्ट एंड दे जस्ट वांटेड टू गेट दैट गोल, वो आया नहीं। थैंक्स टू हमारा डिफेंस एक्चुअली, पीके, एरिक गार्सिया, इवन अलोंसो कल एक अच्छा शो पुटअप किए, टर स्टेगन। आई बिलीव कि दैट हैजंट बीन अ गुड रन ऑफ फॉर्म। क्या करोगे? बट अंकित भाई आप ही बताओ, इतने इतनी टफ गेम्स है हमारे अक्टूबर में, ये स्क्रैपी
हाँ,
विन, स्क्रैपी
एग्जैक्टली।
गेम्स होने हैं। और यू वुड रिमेंबर दीज गेम्स जब लास्ट में आप वो टाइटल उठा रहे होगे कि यार याद है उस टाइम पे हमने 3 लेफ्ट बैक खिला के जीता था। सो यही सारे गेम्स है जो कि आगे काउंट होते हैं। बट देन देयर आर पैचेस इन अ सीजन जहां पे आप खराब खेलते हो, बट मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है कि उस ड्यूरेशन में आप विंस लाओ, एंड
या
बार्सिलोना ने
स्पेशली
एटलीस्ट ला
जब
लीगा में
आपकी
वो मेंटेन
टीम पूरी
किया।
है नहीं ना, व्हेन यू गेट मोर कॉन्फिडेंस विद दैट, एक्चुअली जो किया था
Yeah,
वीकेंड। सो आई गेट दैट एब्सोल्युटली, जी भाई बोल रहे हैं। लेकिन अगेन वील जस्ट टेक अ क्विक लुक एट व्हाट द ग्रुप इज स्टैंडिंग, क्योंकि यार
yeah.
व्हाई आई एम सेइंग, मतलब जी भाई, वुड इट बी राइट टू से दैट इट्स एक्चुअली अ मस्ट विन फॉर बार्सिलोना?
या
एब्सोल्युटली।
एक्चुअली अ
या
मस्ट विन अंकित भाई। नहीं जीतेंगे, अब प्रेशर अपने पे पड़ेगा फिर, इट विल बी अपॉन अस, क्योंकि फिर सामने वाली टीम के ऊपर हम डिपेंडेंट होएंगे, उनके रिजल्ट्स के ऊपर हम डिपेंड करेंगे। अभी
हाँ,
हमारे हाथों में है, अगर हम ये विन ले लें तो we'll have a
राइट।
better we will have a better chance of qualifying.
बिल्कुल, लाइक इफ इन केस से फॉर एग्जांपल, अगेन फॉर पीपल वाचिंग यार, विक्टोरिया प्लेजन, अगर मतलब नो डिसरिस्पेक्ट टू देम, अगर एक ऐसी टीम होती जहां पर थोड़ा सा और ज्यादा से ना फाइट बनता, तो दे कुड हैव होप फॉर अदर मैचेस, लेकिन व्हाई डिपेंड ऑन अदर्स? तो आई वुड से इट्स
Exactly.
डेफिनेटली ऑन। यस, अगेन गोइंग बाय द लास्ट वीक परफॉर्मेंस, मैं तो ये भी बोलूंगा भाई, इंटर काइंड ऑफ एक स्टील एलिमेंट था इंटर में। लेकिन वी ऑल नो भाई, इंटर डूइंग इट बैक टू बैक इन बार्सिलोना एट द कैंप नो, स्पेशली इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग जी भाई, यू गाइस मेट इंटर 2019-20 के ग्रुप स्टेज में, समथिंग लाइक दैट, एंड आई रिमेंबर देयर वाज अ 2-1 विक्ट्री दैट यू गाइस गॉट।
Yeah.
तो मतलब आई डोंट थिंक हिस्ट्री हैज एनीथिंग टू विद इट अभी के लिए। लेकिन गोइंग बाय द टीम शीट, मतलब व्हाट इज योर लाइनअप गोना बी लाइक, यू नो? आई नो लॉट ऑफ इंजरीज। कुंडे शायद आज न्यूज में
नहीं,
आया कि यार ही एल क्लासिको में एटलीस्ट ही विल बी बैक,
एल
राइट?
क्लासिको में। या या
बिल्कुल,
एब्सोल्युटली
बिल्कुल।
एल क्लासिको में खेलेंगे। बट फॉर इंटर वाला गेम आई बिलीव कि हमारा डिफेंस तो वैसे भी सॉर्टेड नहीं है। इट वुड बी इंटरेस्टिंग टू सी कि चावी किसको खिलाते हैं सेंटर बैक्स पोजीशन पे। आई बिलीव कि वही पीके और एक गार्सिया की पेयरिंग होगी। लेफ्ट बैक पे जॉर्डी अल्बा हैज टू प्ले। I'm gonna
या
go with a much more attacking lineup.
ओके।
Jordi Alba has to play, and right back पे I think Sergio Roberto won't. It would be again हमारे Balde. Last time पे it wasn't that guy. मेरे हिसाब से Balde, everybody has doubted Balde के right back पे खेल नहीं पा रहा है बंदा, but I think मेरे हिसाब से he played a decent game yesterday. अच्छा खेला उसने बंदे ने राइट बैक पोजीशन पे, ही वाज डिसेंट इनफ कल के गेम में सेल्टा विगो के अगेंस्ट। बट इंटर के अगेंस्ट लेफ्ट से काफी सारे अटैक पड़ते हैं। क्या कहते हैं उसको, डिमार्को इज द गाय जो लेफ्ट विंग से
ओ
काफी अटैक
भाई,
करता
ही
है।
ओन्ड इट मैन, आई मस्ट से जी भाई, ही ओन्ड इट
एब्सोल्युटली ही
फर्स्ट हाफ
ओन्ड इट, एंड
स्पेशली।
उसको स्टॉप करना बहुत मुश्किल है। डिफेंसिवली सर्जी रोबोटो बहुत पुअर हैं। तो आई हैव टू गो विद बाल्डे टू एटलीस्ट मैच अप द पेस ऑफ डिमार्को, टू कवर हिम, टू ट्रैक हिज रन्स, तो वो बंदा खेलेगा। हमारा डिफेंस बस शेकी है। बट एक बात और है कि हमारा डिफेंस कल के मैच में, मतलब इंटर के मैच में ना, इट वोंट बी कॉल्ड अपॉन सो मेनी टाइम्स। हमारा मेन कल होगा अटैक। अब देखना कि इंटर वोंट कम एट यू, Inter are not gonna come at you in this game. They're gonna try to sit back. Barca को mid block, low block में defend करना चाहेंगे, and Barcelona को they have to open up the defense of Inter anyhow. Bastoni ने वो फोटो डाल के गावी वाली गलती की। कल तो रिडेम्पशन है भैया, गावी पेलेगा।
एग्जैक्टली, इनफैक्ट मतलब आई एम नॉट श्योर कि यार वो या तो फोटोशॉप था, बट आई डिड सी सम पिक्चर आल्सो ऑफ अलोंसो डूइंग दैट बास्तोनी। पता नहीं वो भी सच्चाई की
हाँ,
थी।
हाँ,
आई डोंट नो, मैं कहीं तो देखा, आई थिंक प्रोबब्ली फोटोशॉप था जहां तक मुझे याद
ओके,
है।
हो सकता
बट
है।
आई थिंक यू आर राइट, बास्तोनी ने शुरू किया था एब्सोल्युटली, वहां कोई डाउट ही नहीं है। या यहाँ पर एक अच्छा अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछे डेरियन भाई, विल इंटर, ओके डैमफ्रीज लास्ट मैच डिडंट वेल, मेरे लिए इंटर डिड एब्सोल्युटली फैंटास्टिक डिफेंसिवली, स्ट्रक्चर बहुत ही क्लीन था उनका, और यहाँ पर डिमार्को was a person who was kind of not only tracking back and actually getting those tackles, लेकिन up front भी actually he's a threat। तो डार्मिया जो बैलेंस दे रहे थे ना, बढ़िया दे रहे थे जी भाई। मतलब आई नो आई एम अ डमफ्रीज फैन, आपको जानते हो भाई, बीइंग अ डच फैन एज
या
वेल, लेकिन probably would you expect Darmian to continue this role?
बेसिकली डार्मियान का खेलने का रीजन वही था कि डम्फ्रीज ज्यादा अटैकिंग हो जाते हैं एंड फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट एंड फ्लैंक डेम्बले और रफीनिया और एनीवन फ्रॉम बार्सिलोना वुड बी अटैकिंग. So Inzaghi wanted to have much more defensive player in Darmian than Dumfries. इसके मैच में आई थिंक आई बिलीव कि कैंप न्यू पे ना ये और ज्यादा सेटबैक करेंगे. इंटर
हाँ
सैन सीरो पे तो सेट बैक, दे डिफेंडेड वेल, दे हैड अ वेरी गुड स्ट्रक्चर, फ्रस्ट्रेटेड बार्सा. काउंटर अटैकिंग सिनेरियोज में आई थिंक दे हैड टू बी मच मोर क्लिनिकल. तो उसके लिए प्रोबेबली
करेक्ट.
डम्फ्रीज इज अ बेटर गाय, हैज गॉट बेटर पेस देन दारमियान, हैज गॉट बेटर
ओके
क्रॉसिंग देन
ओके.
दारमियान.
फेयर
बॉक्स में
इनफ.
ज्यादा अच्छा अराइवल है डम्फ्रीज का. बट मुझे ऐसा फील होता
बिल्कुल.
है कि स्टार्टिंग के 60 मिनट्स तक जैसे कि फर्स्ट गेम में गया था कोई चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं है. गो विद दारमियान, डिफेंड वेरी लो ब्लॉक, नैरो, काफी डीप. एंड बार्सिलोना ऑन द अदर हैंड दे हैव टू कीप द बॉल मूविंग. पिछले मैच में उन्होंने इंटर के अगेंस्ट बहुत गलती की. दे वर अ वन ट्रिक पोनी, क्रॉस इन इंशाल्लाह, क्रॉस इन इंशाल्लाह. आप सिटी को देखो, दे आल्सो कम अप अगेंस्ट टीम जो कि लो ब्लॉक खेलती है.
राइट.
कोपेनहेगन भी काफी सेटबैक की थी बट सिटी ने उनको ओपन किया. कैसे ओपन किया? स्विचिंग द फ्लैंक्स, मूविंग द प्लेयर्स लेफ्ट टू राइट, पास करना, प्लेयर्स को अपने पोजीशन से खींचना. जो वो हालैंड के मूवमेंट थे जब वो ड्रॉप कर रहे थे, ही टुक 2-3 प्लेयर्स विद हिम व्हेनेवर ही वाज ड्रॉपिंग. महारेज जब ड्रिफ्ट वाइड कर रहे थे, ही टुक 2-3 प्लेयर्स व्हेनेवर ही वाज मूविंग. तो उस हिसाब से आई बिलीव कि बार्सिलोना को भी दे हैव टू कीप द प्लेयर्स मूविंग, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
हम्म.
तो
मतलब
ट्रिकी गेम
एग्जैक्टली
तो
मतलब
होगा. हम्म.
जो आपने बहुत बढ़िया पॉइंट बोला ना इन टर्म्स ऑफ वो ये क्रॉस करा इंशाल्लाह वाला चीज जो है ना, मतलब वहां पर समहाउ आई फेल्ट कि इन द फर्स्ट लेग जावी ने एक पॉइंट मिस कर दिया. आई डोंट थिंक ही यूज्ड फरहान टोरेस. आई रिमेंबर ही वाज अनयूज्ड इन दैट गेम. प्लस दे मिस डियोंग क्योंकि इन बिटवीन द लाइंस जो पासिंग होती है ना. आई नो कैसी इट वाज एंड आया था. बाय द वे विल टॉक अबाउट इंजरीज. आई नो काफी क्वेश्चंस आ रहे. कैसी इज नॉट फिट आई बिलीव डेफिनेटली. लेकिन डियोंग इज देयर जी भाई. तो मे बी द फैक्ट कि द वे इंटर जो लो ब्लॉक से खेलती है काउंटर पे जाती है, मे बी फ्रेंकी माइट बी अ कंसिडरेशन फॉर दिस गेम कि नहीं. अब म्यूट पर आप भाई. अरे म्यूट म्यूट पर हो आप शायद. मुझे नहीं सुन रहा पीपल. ओके नो प्रॉब्लम. होता
सॉरी
है कोई
सॉरी
नहीं.
सॉरी. हाँ, उत्कर्ष भाई का जो ये कमेंट है ना, किसी भाई, व्हाट डू यू थिंक द फाइनल स्कोर लाइन इफ बार्सा प्लेस लाइक यस्टरडे एंड इंटर प्लेस लाइक द वे दे प्लेड अगेंस्ट द फर्स्ट लेग?
हम्म.
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन उत्कर्ष भाई. बट यू नो व्हाट, आई डोंट थिंक सो कि बार्सा इज गोना प्ले लाइक दैट. यू नो देयर आर गेम्स व्हेन यू प्रिपेयर फॉर, एंड उनके पिछले वाले गेम्स इफेक्ट होते हैं आपको. वो कहते हैं ना कि आप पर गेम फोकस करो. बट कल क्लियरली विजिबल था कि बार्सिलोना के प्लेयर्स वर थिंकिंग अबाउट द गेम अगेंस्ट इंटर एंड दे वरंट टू मच इन द गेम. उनका माइंड नहीं था कल के गेम में एंड दे वर नॉट प्लेइंग एट द लेवल. बट इंटर के अगेंस्ट आई थिंक पूरा पूरा फोकस हमारा आ जाएगा
हम्म.
इंटर के मैच में. एंड मुझे लगता है कि कल वी वोंट बी प्लेइंग दैट वे बिकॉज चावी सेड साफ साफ कि यार मैंने देखा क्या गलतियां हुई हैं, मैंने गलतियों को रेक्टिफाई करना है. एंड वी सॉ कि कल जावी ने सेल्टा के अगेंस्ट वो गलतियों को चेंजेस किए. इंटर के अगेंस्ट आई डू नॉट होप कि बार्सा वुड बी गोइंग इन द सेम वे जैसे उन्होंने सेल्टा या इंटर के मैच में खेला था. देयर हैज टू बी चेंजेस, प्लेयर हैज टू स्टेप ऑन. एब्सोल्युटली प्रभात भाई, रफीना हैज टू बी स्टेप ऑन. शॉट्स
क्या
लेने
वो
होंगे,
लेफ्ट
मोर
साइड में
शॉट्स.
ही इज नॉट. हैज ही वर्कड फॉर यू लेफ्ट साइड में?
आई
दैट्स
थिंक
द मेन.
इनिशियली जब वो खेल रहे थे ना, तो वो कह सकते हो आप, इनिशियली काफी पोजीशन स्विच होती थी डेम्बेले और रफीनिया में, लेफ्ट और
राइट.
राइट में. लेटली वो बहुत कम हो रही है. और द 5 minutes रफीना प्लेड अगेंस्ट इंटर ऑन द राइट साइड, ही क्रिएटेड चांस. डेम्बेले
करेक्ट.
ट्राइड एंड ट्राइड एंड ट्राइड ऑन द राइट फ्लैंक,
आई थिंक
कुछ नहीं हो पा
चेंज
रहा
किया
था.
था जावी ने माइंड. आई रिमेंबर सब्स्टिट्यूशन जब हो रहे थे फर्स्ट. आई थिंक इट वाज सपोज्ड टू बी देम्बेले कमिंग ऑफ. देन ही चेंज द माइंड एंड ही एक्चुअली गॉड ऑफ रफीनिया. एंड यू राइट
या
क्योंकि यार लेफ्ट साइड में जो अगेन मार्कस अलोंसो आप जानते हो भाई. मतलब आई एम अ फैन ऑफ मार्कस अलोंसो फॉर पीपल वाचिंग. भाई
फैन
मार्कस
ऑफ
अलोंसो
मार्कस
का
अलonso.
बेस्ट क्या होता है व्हेन ही एक्चुअली इज डाउन द विंग. हम बोलती है ना रनिंग ऑन द विंग. दैट इज
या
अबाउट मार्कस अलोंसो. तो वहां पर रफीनिया क्या कर रहे थे? ही वाज एक्चुअली फोर्सिंग मार्कस अलोंसो टू बी एन इन्वर्टेड विंग बैक व्हिच इज नॉट व्हाट मार्कस अलोंसो रियली इज. तो in my
या
opinion वो usage is was not the right way. In my opinion Rafinha could play in that position अगर if he is more like an inside forward जो leads के लिए खेला है उन्होंने inside
हम्म.
forward जैसे कभी कभी कभी.
हम्म.
तो I'm little
अंकित
bit
भाई,
surprised.
ये रफीना का जो यूजेस था उस गेम में ना, वो पक्का से फरहान वाली पोजीशन थी. वो फरहान का काम था जो रफीना करना चाह रहे थे एंड ही डिडंट डू इट नाइसली. मेरे
Right.
लिए मेरा स्टार्टिंग 11, उत्कर्ष भाई, राइट पे मैं आई विल गो विद रफीनिया, लेवांडोस्की, एंड आई विल प्ले डेम्बेले. आई प्ले डेम्बेले. मुझे चाहिए डिफेंस को मैं डिस्टर्ब करूं. डेम्बेले कुछ भी है, हागता है, व्हाटएवर इट इज, ही कॉजेस सम काइंड ऑफ कमोशन, ही कॉजेस सम, एटलीस्ट इन द फर्स्ट हाफ, एटलीस्ट इन द फर्स्ट हाफ आई एम रूटिंग फॉर डेम्बेले. लेटर ऑन पता है क्या, आई वांट टू हैव फरहान इन द गेम. सच बता रहा हूँ, फरहान सक करते हैं, ही मिसेस द चांसेस, बट देन टू डिसबैलेंस द ओपोनेंट डिफेंस, टू मेक डीप रन्स, probably फरहान इज द गाय जो कि काफी अच्छा काम करेगा. एंड आई थिंक कि कल के मैच में ही वुड बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
Yeah. Divyanshu Bole, Barca can beat low block of Inter by making the midfielders move forward, move into Inter's D box, okay, and creating number superiority. This will spread the defense of Inter and give Barca the room to score. Well, again, maybe Ferran Torres, maybe in that moment can be useful if that's the case. Because
कल
अगर
का
मैंने आंसू
चांस
फाटी
उसने
का
ऐसे
डाला
ही
है,
बनाया था.
right.
जी अंकित भाई.
So I think Farhan is probably more suited in that position. Rafinha 20 है, कल के मैच में उसका और बाल्डे का कनेक्शन अच्छा था. वही it comes down to वही opposition भी यहाँ पर, because I think Inter play the way they play for the wings. यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा I think you need more than a proper left winger चाहिए आपको, to be very honest in this match. सच में बोलूँ तो नहीं तो they will have their game, especially Skriniar का बहुत बढ़िया गेम था जी भाई in the first leg. But हाँ,
स्क्रिनियर
they
इतना
are missing
नेचुरल
Brozovic.
डिफेंडर है, इतना नेचुरल डिफेंडर है. He's a world class defender and he can come up with anyone. किसी के भी अगेंस्ट वो स्क्रिनियर खेल सकता है and can win that. The thing is, when you come up against Dembele, you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
कल के मैच
Exactly.
में, उस वाले मैच में, इंटर के मैच में Dembele was absolutely shit. And even yesterday when he played against Celta, वो जो लास्ट में आए थे, he didn't do anything. मेरे बहुत बड़े डाउट्स हैं. एंड डी के बारे में लोग पूछ रहे हैं. आई थिंक डी फॉर मी इज क्रूशियल, इज वेरी वेरी क्रूशियल इन द गेम. जैसे अंकित भाई ने बताया, लाइन ब्रेकिंग पासेस करना, वो रन्स मारना, डी वुड बी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड खासकर उसकी रन इन दी बॉक्स अंडररेटेड पार्ट है. तो यार आई थिंक इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करेंगे. टफ गेम होगा यार, टफ गेम होगा, बहुत ज्यादा नर्वस गेम होगा. बट देन एक गोल, one goal will calm out everything, and then one goal के बाद सिर्फ let's go out, let's try to build on that and let's try to defend.
या वेल जी भाई अभी अब प्रैक्टिस से आ रहे हैं भाई, मतलब कोई नहीं.
Yes.
वी आर गोना गेट देयर. मुझे भी चांस देता है भाई जी भाई. आई नो बारसा के लिए चांस में तो मैं खेल लूंगा. आई नो यार, चेल्सी फैंस बोल रहे हैं भाई जा जा तू जा. कोई नहीं, विल कम टू
अरे
दैट. बाय द वे
अंकित भाई,
या
रमीरेज ने वो जो चेल्सी पे वर्सेस बार्सा के अगेंस्ट वो डिंक गोल मारा था विक्टर वाल्डेस के
हाँ
अगेंस्ट.
हाँ
आई सॉ ही हैड दैट होल फोटो टैटूड ऑन हिज लेग, क्योंकि
या
देन ही वेंट ऑन टू विन द चैंपियंस लीग, राइट. तो रमीरेज का वो गोल था ओवर द टॉप ऑफ विक्टर वाल्डेस इन द सेमीफाइनल, आई थिंक इट वाज, जहां पे फर्नांडो
राइट.
टोरेस ने भी गोल मारा था कैंप नो पे.
मतलब यू नो व्हाट, दोज आर थिंग्स दैट यू नेवर फॉरगेट. यू नो मतलब वो एक मोमेंट्स है कैंप नो में. देयर हैव बीन सम ब्यूटीफुल मोमेंट्स ओवर द इयर्स, ऑफ कोर्स, इवन फॉर ऑपोजिशन फैंस. सम बैड मोमेंट्स भी वो याद नहीं करना चाहेंगे एज अ चेल्सी
आस्क
फैन.
रॉबिन वैन पर्सी.
Yeah, there have been a few of them, to be very honest. Ankit Bhai is a finisher, better finisher than Pulisic. Fair enough. I hope so that we'll get to that. But yeah, we'll have okay. We have Kush in the house who's going to join us as well. So hopefully we can discuss some more of Inter, but as well as AC Milan, obviously. Let's get Kush in the house. Kush, welcome to the stream, bro.
What's up,
Welcome
man?
to
How
How
are
It
you,
Be
Ankit?
Listening. Great. And yes, people, big
Hi,
shout out.
Kush.
Didn't expect to see Zeeshan here as well, but what's up, bro? Kya hai?
Great, I'm great. How are you, man? Long time. Good to see you.
Yes, absolutely. Good to see everyone's alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. And by the way, people, again, this gives me an opportunity. By the way, there are around 80 people watching us. Hopefully, everyone has liked the stream. Please like the stream, because that's how the stream moves forward. But do not forget, by chance, in case you don't know Talk Football HD by now, as in, please go and subscribe, just in case. But even the Milan corner, obviously, you guys know that I do have a soft corner for Milan. But come on, I'm going to. That's why I'm wearing the Chelsea jersey. I'm definitely a Chelsea fan first, without a shadow of a doubt. But great to have Kush here. So, Kush, we were talking about Barca Inter to begin with, and we'll come to Milan Chelsea obviously in just a couple of minutes. But again, we've been talking about Barcelona a lot. I would like to get your perspective as an AC Milan fan about Inter Milan. Now, Inter Milan have really sucked when it comes to Inzaghi's tactics, generally, what I would say. But in that European tie that they had against Barcelona, did you see that? As in, they had that element in terms of just wanting to win. Is it something that Inzaghi is working like off field? Because for me, in terms of tactics, they had Korea, I believe, and he's injured apparently. So, what do you think? What will be the mentality of Inter Milan going to Camp Nou? As in, what are you giving the chances to them?
I mean, before the last game, when they played Barcelona, they had completely no form, and there was a lot of conversation amongst a lot of Inter fans. Ki isko to nikalna padega. Like Simone Inzaghi's done, it's over, it's end of the cycle, and now it's time to move on. And then suddenly this happens. So obviously there were a couple of elements. One was just fighting for death. Like they had no other option but to completely give it their all. Especially the game was at the San Siro, that always helps. And then thoda referee ne bhi help to karai.
Thank you.
Inzaghi ka expression, man, that was like something, gave it away big time.
Yeah, because that was definitely a handball from Dumfries, no question. And even in the lead up to the goal for Barcelona, I think that has been ruled now as not not an offense. So the scoreline would have been different if all the if everything was applied accurately. Yeah. So then That's what I would say, is that probably leading up to the game, it helped Inter knowing that it was a do or die game. Now, in the next leg, I think, and in Barcelona itself, they've kind of hit form again. They won over the weekend, but I don't know if it's something that they can pull off away from home. That'll say a lot about Barcelona if they drop points at home.
Yeah. By the way, they are missing Brozovic. I know बहुत लोग पूछ रहे थे about the injuries. They are missing Brozovic. That's a huge miss. Obviously, they were hoping that second leg के लिए fit हो जाए, but I believe so. No, I know Aslani has got a decent couple of appearances for him, but I would still expect for such a big game Mkhitaryan to kind of has been given the nod. But yeah, Lukaku, for people asking, yeah, not that it makes a difference. You all know. Even I know technically he's still a Chelsea player. भाई लेकिन Lukaku भाई अभी तक 100% fit नहीं है. At best, he'll be available for the bench. And Dzeko has been scoring goals. Let's be real. Yes, he's not going to be a Korea in terms of how he plays, but he actually has a threat in the box, and especially when you cross kare, inshallah, Dzeko is probably better than that at times. You can argue that. So definitely. And by the way, yeah, I'm seeing ये वाला एक question तब से आ रहा है. Ayan, भाई, everyone, please do not spam. I am starting a lot of questions. तो मैं लेने वाला हूँ as far as time permits. Yes, we are going to come to other groups and teams as well. So do hold on, everyone. जी भाई, what about Barca versus Bayern in the Camp Nou? अगर हम इंटर के साथ जीत जाए, प्लेजन के साथ भी, and Bayern के साथ हार जाए, will we go through? इंशाल्लाह Barca will do great this time. जी भाई बोल दो यार, क्या लगता है गट?
And by yes, definitely. If we win against Inter, which we will, and we're definitely gonna win against Viktoria Plzen. The result against Bayern, because Bayern Inter को हरा रही है again, so Inter won't have a chance. ठीक है, तो I think we'll be on the second of the table. So I think we'll be going through. What will happen against Bayern? That would be an important game because that will shape the course of our season. If we get a win, it will be very good because momentum हमारे साथ होएगा. We'll have a huge momentum going through the Champions League. कि हमने Bayern को हरा दिया, but I'm not betting a lot on that because it's a very tough game again. Let's face it, Bayern Munich है वो. But given the first game, how it went at the Allianz Arena, भाई साहब, if we play anywhere closer to that level and be clinical in terms of scoring our goals, so I believe we can win that game, given we play the way we played in the away wala game pe yaar. So anything can happen.
Yep. By the way, yeah, I don't know if it's true, yeah. मतलब, I know, I think I saw Utkarsh ka message that Musiala is COVID positive, so that will be a concern for Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
अरे भाई, ये तो not great news. Anyway, thanks for sharing it, Utkarsh. Neeraj पूछ रहे, what will be the financial situation Barca if they go out? वही है, मतलब, firstly, I don't think Barca fans would want to think negative at this point in time. लेकिन जी भाई, that he has a point, Neeraj, नहीं?
यही बात है. कल I discussed about this in my live stream कि बारसा अगर इस साल जाती है यूरोपा में, तो we of course not gonna get the money which we get by playing in the Champions League matches. You all know कि Champions League matches में खेलना, जीतना, just to qualify for the round of 16, you get extra money every single time you play a game. जीतने पे, draw करने पे, there are different levels that you get. Europa में it's very less. You get the money in Europa as well for playing, winning. Europa League को भी जीतने में पैसे मिलते हैं, but then Champions League पे काफी पैसे मिलते हैं. So there's a big difference. बहुत ज़्यादा financial problem हो सकती है, but the best thing is कि at least you will be qualifying for the Champions League again next season, because I don't think so कि बारसा top 4 में नहीं आ रही है इस साल. So दिक्कत होगी इस season के लिए, but can be curated because we'll be qualifying for the next season, यार.
Yeah, but sorry to interrupt, but there is a significant amount of financial thing at stake here, because it's I think for every win they get about 2.5 million, and for every draw you get 900,000. So that, and then if you get out of the group stage, you get, I think, 16 to 17 as bonus. So that's, a lot of player salaries to cover, or Messi's cover.
Let's what's the future of Barcelona. But anyway, let's see. I'm just hoping for a good game as a neutral, to be very honest. I'm pretty sure Kush is not a neutral here. Really speaking, Kush, let's have a prediction from you, bro. क्या बोलते हो? मतलब, do you think Inter Milan can repeat what happened, especially going away the Camp Nou?
Hopefully not, or I would just request Barcelona अच्छे से, मतलब, उनकी धुलाई करे थोड़ी. Revenge तो चाहिए, जैसे मिलान चेल्सी की करेगा वैसी.
अरे भाई देखते. Anyway, everyone in the chat, भाई, get in with all the likes, but do not forget to give your predictions as well साथ में. और ये यहाँ पर ये भी announcement है, this is for members especially, big up to the members especially, because there is a prediction league going on. तो मैंने डालना है 10 selected matches, and I'm going to be putting it tonight, and yeah, you can definitely message that. And yes, there is a prize for the prediction league as well, not just the FPL, तो हो जाए. And yes, UCL fantasy भी है, उस पर हम, we have covered a lot of injury news. Hopefully it will help you. LM10 बोल रहे हैं Barca 3 Inter 0 with Leva hat hat-trick. By Leva, basically, again, he's been missing a couple of weeks, maybe saving for this game, is what you would say, is what I would say, as a neutral. Let's see. Inter gonna get battered, 3-0 for Barca. Bhai, 3-0 बहुत ही common score है. जी भाई, prediction हो जाए आपसे.
माफ कर दो यार, बड़ी प्रेडिक्शन कर दी मैंने यार.
चलो
सब
कोई
सब
नहीं.
सब उल्टा
You
पुल्टा
predict
हो रहा
other
है.
games, ठीक है? Other बाकी games
Yeah,
predict कर
thank
लीजिए
you.
आप. No
मेरे
problem,
दिल
no
जान
problem.
इस गेम से दुख रहा है बहुत ज्यादा. Just gonna go
Yeah, I can
watch this game.
understand. I can understand. कोई नहीं. चलो अभी we'll move on to the big game for me personally because let's be honest, यार मेरे लिए काफी लोग बोल रहे थे भाई जब मिलान स्कोर करेगी आप किसके लिए चीयर कर दो. वापस मैं क्लियर कर रहा हूँ भाई. मैं बेसिकली शुरू किया था जब फुटबॉल तो शुरू किया था सेरिया से, इटालियन फुटबॉल से, लेकिन बाद में एशिया में इतना शुरू हो गया ना कि यार प्रीमियर लीग एंड ऑल दैट, I literally fell in love with Chelsea, and that's about now 23 years that I'm literally following every match. Pretty sure यहाँ पर मिलान के लिए सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर है, but definitely not on this day. Especially यहाँ पर जो सिचुएशन है ग्रुप की बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है. By the way, let me talking about Chelsea. Big up Chelsea perspective, my brother in the house. Big up to Chelsea perspective. Yes, a great channel as well. People, again, shout out to Chelsea perspective as well as the Milan corner, Talk Football HD, of course. लेकिन Kush, let's start from you, bro. As in, I know that it was definitely a shot in the arm, but again, the other way around, weekend में जो हुआ था against Juventus, pretty sure the confidence is back, especially considering you're missing like loads of players still. I think D Kettler is also injured from what I heard.
Yeah.
He's out.
Yeah. So I think even in the last game, there was a little bit of element, not a little bit, a significant element of the missing players. So basically, we were playing without a right back and a left back, and right flank Tamara Purai was completely newly constructed. We've never played Krunic on the right as a right winger. We didn't have a right back who's a captain. So if you really break it down one at a time with the injuries, Mike Maignan was the first player injured. He was a goalkeeper of the season last season. If you look at the left back, that's Theo Hernandez. Some people believe he's arguably one of the best top three in the world as a left back.
Yeah, I would say the best on form, bro, to be very honest.
Yeah, then we're missing our right back, who is our captain. And then we're missing our right winger, who before this round was the second highest scorer in Champions League after Erling Haaland in Alexis Alamakers. Do goalie the, but still. So these were the four players that we were missing. They were consequential misses. So I still don't think we should have lost 3-0. That was very embarrassing. But I'm not too upset with the team, especially after their response over the weekend. Jaise unhone Juventus ko haraya, jitni comforts. I mean, it also says a lot about Juventus. But we got the 3 points there. So they'll definitely be high on confidence. They're playing at home. Milan always plays well at home when they're playing in the Champions League. That's just historically how most clubs are, but Milan especially. So I think next week, I think they'll actually want to get some type of a revenge on Chelsea. So they're probably going to want to do something similar.
Okay. So yeah, bring it on kind of thing. But you know what? Kush has a great point about it. Milan, to be very honest, they are one of those sides, which is very, very difficult to beat. Especially even not only that, by Chelsea ka bhi, I think generally in Italy, our record has not been great. Just like we actually covered last week, कि भाई Milan playing in England wasn't great. तो यहाँ पर, history you say बहुत बार जी भाई that it doesn't really come into picture. But somewhere down the line, especially in European games, that is the element which, as a coach, you study and you kind of, play your team defensively at times. So what do you think? What is going to be the difference maker in this game?
Like, Kush very nicely talked about the players that are out of this game. The Ketlere, I think it wasn't that good a game for Milan against Chelsea. But yeah, 3-0 shouldn't have happened. 3-0 was a very battering thing. But you talk about when Milan has to play at the San Siro, I think momentum इनके साथ होगा, especially after that game against Juventus, जहाँ पे they toyed with Juve, and I really liked that performance. I was really happy after that win, big win, by the way. Chelsea after that win in the Premier League, they have been performing well. Graham Potter's के under, they have played their game very nicely. अच्छी बात है कि उनके French players, even like Pulisic has been scoring, and Mason Mount has got this first assist as well. So you could see Ruben Loftus-Cheek playing in that DM wale role. So there are things that Graham Potter is trying to shake up. But talking about AC Milan, I badly want them to win this year. I want the people to find out about more about Milan getting back in European front. I want them to get this win here.
देखिए मतलब जी भाई, डेफिनेटली मैं भी चाहता हूँ बिग टाइम. मैं तो मतलब आई हैव लिटरली बिन वेविंग द फ्लैग कि मिलान सेरिया जनरली भाई, लेकिन इस गेम के लिए नहीं. आई जनरली डोंट वांट दैट, बट सर्टेनली देयर इज अ पॉइंट. और डिस्पाइट मिसिंग प्लेयर्स, I know Juventus के साथ जो था, it was basically against Allegri ball, you can say that. But to be very honest, ऐसा भी नहीं कि just about they won, bro. They did a proper battering to Juventus, I would say, in my opinion. But again, मैंने जो lineup दिखाई थी कुछ, I don't know if you agree with that, but I'm going to share even the Chelsea lineup again for people out there who are watching. Do let me know what is the lineup you are predicting. Yes, by the way, there are loads of injuries for Milan, but again for Chelsea, I believe we are missing. Obviously, Kante is not 100% fit. That is obviously known. And I think, yeah, I think this is what I'm expecting. So, Kush, against this Chelsea lineup, what are you expecting Milan to line up as?
Yeah, I mean, with us, we don't have as many options. So pretty much what you had. But although against, I think Juventus, we lined up a 4-3-2-1, like an old school Carlo Ancelotti Christmas tree style formation. So that was interesting that Pioli adjusted that. I don't know exactly tactically how he's going to line up against Chelsea, but what I do know is that having Theo Hernandez back and having Rafael Leao, again, kicking on the left, it will make the left flank a lot more dangerous than what it was in this game. So the experience that, these guys, your team had on the left will be a lot, well, you're right, I guess, will be a lot different now. So that'll be an interesting thing to see how Pioli kind of lines that part up.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of attacks is going to be going from the left.
Yeah. और यहाँ पर again, I know that a lot of Chelsea fans, were beating the bush about, Reece James and even Chalobah to some extent pocketing Leao. But to be honest, Leao का दो moment था where actually Chalobah was questionable. So for me, he's right. As in with Theo Hernandez, मतलब again, watching so much of Milan myself, I am telling you, भाई Theo Hernandez जब होते हैं ना, the way he overlaps is a different tuning altogether. With all due respect to Balotore, it is Theo Hernandez you're talking about.
Yeah,
so वहाँ पर we have to have extra defensive element.
And also, to be fair, there's a lot of expectation on Leao, but Leao ka stock jo rise kara hai, wo actually rose in maybe the last 10 games of the last season. Before that, he was still a pretty decent player, but he didn't turn into what he turned into in the last 10 games. Yeah. So this game against Chelsea is his first opportunity on the largest scale against a big Premier League side as a star player. Last season when we played Liverpool, Leao was not that significant to the team. So this is his first time, so I think there's a lot of pressure on him too. But once he plays at home, I think it'll be a different ball game.
Yep. But quick shout out here to Uncle Sharma. Again, I wanted Uncle Sharma to join us as well. A huge content creator, of course, for Inter Milan. But again, wish you all the best, Uncle Sharma. You know my views there. But koi nahi, we'll discuss for sure. Probably he was busy now, but he'll probably come on again. And great content, yeah, people, in case you want to check it out. As well as NS Sports TV, Nipun in the house. Obviously, an almighty goat in the house. Absolutely. Thanks, Nipun, for coming as always. And LM10 has a question. I have a question off topic, but let's see. Team Leao, Kimmich, and Militao. What is this? And Kvaratskhelia, Rodri, and Araujo, which is better? Oh my God, Z bhai, this is difficult, bro.
Keep me out of it, please.
Questions.
Yeah, Kvaratskhelia has played 5 games. Let's take it.
It's okay. That's what the media does. I know.
I still remember Stefan El Shaarawy at Milan was everything because he played well for 18
I would
games.
still go with El Shaarawy of that time.
He was so good.
He was awesome.
Yeah. I think there were a lot of people. But like in Kvaratskhelia, to be very honest, he is looking that element, bro. He's looking the next. मतलब एक quality लग रही है who can sustain, नहीं जी भाई?
So is Modric, Shakhtar Donetsk left winger.
Oh, bhai sahab. Absolutely. We'll come to that as well.
He has been terrific. So I think ज़्यादा लोगों ने उसको देखा नहीं होगा. But then same profile पे he has also been working in Cody Gakpo. We don't talk about that guy. Cody Gakpo has been immense for PSG.
Yeah,
same goal contribution as Erling Haaland.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy, bro.
The only thing annoying about Kvaratskhelia is to read all the Napoli fans on Twitter, man. 25 साल से तुम like league नहीं जीते हो, 6 गेम के पीछे इतना लोगों का दिमाग खा रहे हो.
Oh my, yeah. This is Kush bhai after winning the Scudetto. First swagger आ गया है ना.
नहीं, to be very honest यार, मैंने एक स्पेशल स्ट्रीम की थी just after winning the Scudetto because trust me, एक Milan ना, मतलब again I have to say it again. Yes, people, here I'm representing Chelsea. I will represent Chelsea no matter what. लेकिन you have to accept the fact, and this is for everyone. मैं यहाँ पर सुना नहीं रहा. The fact is, after Real Madrid, Milan are the second most successful team in the Champions League. And wo ek thing is, I think they take a lot of pride in. I know me myself knowing a lot of Milan fans, me myself having a soft corner for a reason, and that's something great as well. So we have to be very careful as Chelsea. We have to be extremely careful. Here, you never know. And Giroud, bro, as in we have not spoken about the main thing. Yes, first leg mein Giroud was kind of not to be seen, but that's what with Theo Hernandez, with Leao actually, kind of working well together. Maybe Giroud might come into more into it. And Thiago Silva going back to San Siro, bro. As in, Kush, how are you feeling about that? Like, this guy is definitely a Milan legend as well, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's a really interesting storyline because I think mostly because we haven't played in the Champions League in 8 years, he never got a chance to come back to Milan and play at the San Siro with PSG. So the fact that he's coming back, it'll be interesting because I think the Curva Sud will be very appreciative of him because he'll go down as a Milan legend because he didn't really want to leave when he left for PSG. He wanted to stay there. Ibrahimovic wanted to stay there. Both of them, they found out as a surprise because Thiago Silva was just re-signed, signed a new contract, and 3 weeks later, Milan decided to sell him to PSG. And for a while, he didn't speak with anybody at Milan because he was so upset that why did they move him? And for a while at PSG, for about 4 years, he used to wear his shin pads from AC Milan. So his shin pads, whenever seen in the locker room, had the Milan colors.
That's a story. That's a story I didn't know. Great. That's why we have Kush now. Big up to Kush as well. Again, people, the Milan caller, shout out to him. But as an Inter fan, Zeeshan is an Inter fan. Great to have Zeeshan as always. I really like the way Milan is run as a club, recruiting young, promising players, and Pioli is underrated. Wish he was given more time, and the players is Inter. For
Absolutely.
me, I think that's a great point because again, Brahim Diaz, you can say that Man City kind of owns him, but we all know that Brahim Diaz is probably going to be staying in Milan. And I think for me, again, D. Kettler is out. But yes, we don't want injuries to any players. But strangely, I know Z bhai, Brahim Diaz, आप भी बहुत rate करते हो. क्या बोलते हो भाई? It's maybe a blessing in disguise that Brahim Diaz might start this game.
Yeah, definitely. Even if Charles D. Kettler was available, I would have gone for Brahim Diaz to start in that role. So because I think he signing here, he would take a bit of a time to gel up and develop in that way of playing of AC Milan. But Brahim Diaz has played there for a long time now, and Khaskar, the way he celebrated the goal against Juventus, man, मुझे देख के मजा आ गया था. The way he was just lifting up his number 10 jersey, sitting on the shoulders of Rafael Leao.
Yeah, Leao, man. Leao does that
Leao
too.
था, right?
Leao Tomori भाई, again Tomori भी है, ex Chelsea man. और एक character लाते हैं वो team को.
लाते हैं, seriously. These are the young leaders in the team, you know. Obviously, when you talk about leaders, सबसे पहले आप Zlatan के बारे में नाम लेते हो. You talk about Giroud, but you see all of these young players. Even you talk about Calabria as well. But up defense में देखो, they've got Kalulu. Mid में देखो, they've got Tonali, who's himself a very good leader on the pitch. I just hope क्योंकि they lack that experience. Like Kush said, after a long time we are back in the Champions League, right? So I think all of these players haven't had that experience to play at the top level. They have been playing in the Serie A for a long time. वो उनको एक European front पे exposure नहीं मिला है. So कहीं ना कहीं वो nerves होती है. Like even Kush told us कि ये Leao के लिए बहुत बड़ा game है because, of course, let's face it, how many times he has played in the Champions League. So look at the players of Real Madrid. Even being at 18, 19 years of age, they have like 10, 15 appearances in the Champions League already. So for these players, they have the opportunity to showcase what they can do as a team together. It would be a tough tie. Chelsea, I think, is point of time पे momentum wise getting the 2 wins थोड़ा सा better है maybe, but the whole San
अरे
Siro
जी भाई क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं बोल रहा हूँ एज अ चेल्सी फैन 3-0 हुआ नहीं भाई कब हुआ था मुझे याद नहीं बैक टू बैक
मैं समझ रहा हूँ वही तो कह रहा हूँ तभी तो वो देता है आपको काफी ज्यादा एक सेंस काफी ज्यादा एक मोटिवेशन देता है but that's the thing coming up against AC Milan at the San Siro ये tricky tie है because I have been there as a Barca fan but not myself but obviously when Barca played AC Milan back to back हम लोग Champions League में we faced AC Milan at the potato field. So they defeated us in the first leg as well. So I know we have suffered over there. So I think it's going to be a tough game. And I'm just going to go for AC Milan for this win. Yeah.
Okay. Kush is also obviously going for AC Milan. But Kush, what's your gut, man? As in, you think as in Milan have it enough? Yes, by the way, Chelsea are coming 3 back-to-back victories. Chelsea की बात करेंगे in terms of tactics quickly. यहाँ पे I'll give my thoughts. But Kush, what is your feeling about this game? Yes, for you it's a must win. Would you say that it's a must win?
Oh yeah, no question. They have to pick up the 3 points because that's the thing about the mid-round of group stage. It's back-to-back games, home and away. You're almost playing like a knockout stage inside the group stage. So you have to pick up the 3 points on Tuesday, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think again the table situation is such that again Zagreb, Salzburg, कुछ भी हो सकता है भाई, कुछ भी हो सकता है वाला group है ये. So that is why we are talking so much. But again, coming to Chelsea quickly, I'll give my 2 cents यहाँ पर. Everyone, आप लोग भी बोलिए. मतलब what has been different under Potter for me? Again, मैंने I know I've been explaining in my videos that I've been doing, but again I know a lot of people are watching. For me, भाई Potter एक best चीज जो ला रहा है ना. I think what he's doing is he's keeping players fresh and as per what I hear, he is actually communicating better. एक communication to the player which is actually happening. What is difference that we are seeing in the Potter? वहां पर क्या हो रहा है? People are knowing when they are starting, when they're not. It's not a surprise. It's only a surprise for us क्योंकि yes, हम सब टूकल के अंडर बोलते थे whom I loved actually absolutely brilliantly. लेकिन टूकल का to get that 11 was very difficult. Potter का it's even more difficult. But I think when it comes to Champions League, only question mark being, and I kind of go with Z bhai यहाँ पर because Champions League experience with yes, I know Milan themselves haven't been in Champions League a lot in terms of knockouts, but again they've been there in the big stages. They've played the big teams versus a Potter. So यहाँ पर going away to Milan, let's see how he kind of gets the team. मेरे लिए the way Potter is playing, I genuinely believe that एक mojo is back, especially. And for me, last game में जो हुआ था भाई weekend में जी भाई, पता नहीं आप you got a chance. I know it was against Wolves, Wolves without manager, but जो गैलेगर और माउंट ला रहे थे ना, that kind of infectious energy, that kind of motivate. We are talking about Leao, Tomori and Giroud of the likes ना, वो है आपके माउंट and गैलेगर kind of people. And Potter might, being an Englishman, favor English players. Loftus-Cheek has been reborn. तुझी भाई 2 words हो जाए. What do you think about Chelsea as in
Absolutely
you see
stunning.
them?
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ. I did not watch that game, but then I went on and watched the whole game and kind of made my analysis about that game. मजा आ गया गेम को देख के. Revitalized in Gallagher. Of course, I wanted him to play closer to the goal. मैं चाह रहा था कि यार वो थोड़ा और
Yep.
front forward में खेले because he was
Correct.
played as a 6 previously and he wasn't doing the job. तो जब उसको और थोड़ा goal के closer खिलाया गया, we saw what damage he could do. And then Mason Mount. Obviously, I love Mount यार. He's a very nice player यार. Threatening always very important for all the attacks of Chelsea. So in that game, I think Mount was sumptuous. काफी अच्छा लगा देख के. एंड खासकर वो मिडफील्ड पेयरिंग लॉफ्टस चीक. मैं हमेशा अपने ओपिनियन में लॉफ्टस चीक को लेके अप एंड डाउन रहा हूं because I don't really know what to talk about this guy. Sometimes he's like
And that's
very
fair.
good at things
And
he
that's
does.
fair. वो
Yeah.
he has been an enigma big time.
Yeah, definitely you could say that. So sometimes he just lets have those runs जहाँ पे वो he takes the ball and he dribbles everyone over there. So but the way Potter ने जिस हिसाब से अपनी टीम को revitalize किया, I would say कि yes, has done a very good job. And भाई Thiago Silva, 37 years of age पे, how can you do that? Continue to play at that level. But it is very sad to see Fofana getting injured. I think that was the game जिसमें
Yeah.
Fofana injured हुए थे.
बिल्कुल
Milan के
बिल्कुल
against ही.
वो भी स्कोर करने के बाद भाई, मतलब that was painful
yeah.
almost. But anyway, मतलब वही by the way एक stat मैं बोलना चाहूंगा for people. I hope that doesn't get passed. Chalobah, whenever he started for Chelsea has never lost a game. As in talk about it. So इसलिए मैंने Chalobah का डाल दिया starting lineup में कि भाई हो जाए बस कैसे ना कैसे, हम हारेंगे नहीं. For us it's a must not lose as much as
Ankit by doing anything and everything possible.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Gallagher, Timo Werner in the house. By the way, big up to Timo Werner. Bhai, you're a great player for us, but come on, you know the truth. आपने नहीं किया enough when it comes to Premier League, Champions League, great. भाई लेकिन देखिए, Gallagher का ऐसा है, मतलब जैसे हम बात करते हैं about Potter. Gallagher not having the European experience, I would still for this game away to Milan, Mason Mount has been done that as well. And again, for me, the weekend he was arguably the man of the match. तो Mason Mount coming to form बहुत ही important. जब Mason Mount अच्छा खेलता है ना चेल्सी के लिए, चेल्सी अच्छा खेलती है. That's something that I've always noticed, and that is something that I would go with, especially यार defensive element उसका भी बहुत है. मतलब both kind of very similar to me. लेकिन Gallagher अगर आपको shots लेने goal पे, I would actually go with Gallagher. I think it's a must not lose. That's why I'll go with Mason Mount. But one person I would like to talk about the Chelsea team is basically with Kush is Koulibaly, bro. अब Koulibaly जैसे शुरू किया ना Chelsea में, let's be honest, he gave me the nerves. As much as he's having a great experience, and I know people have called him the as in the French Senegalese, the Tyrone Mings. I won't go that far, but he's had a couple of very good games, Kush. I know you watched a lot of Koulibaly as well. What are your thoughts on Koulibaly, as in the way Chelsea plays with a lot of times 3 at the back, sometimes 4 at the back?
Yeah, I mean, with Koulibaly, the thing is, for a significant number of years, for about a couple seasons at Napoli, he was not playing well enough, and there was a lot of reports that he's going to get moved. He's just not a good player. And then he went through a stretch of about 4 or 5 seasons where he's just been completely dynamic. He's been the strength and the force in Napoli's defense. but that doesn't get as appreciated compared to when he moved to a Premier League club. So I've been watching Koulibaly play for years, and he
Right.
is that rock solid presence in used to be Napoli's defense. Now he's moved to a new league, completely new way of playing. So there's going to be some patchy performances. I think the player has the quality, obviously, to be there. They've paid big money for him. So I think it's just a little bit more patience and giving him some time to settle in. So you'll have those off performances where he's playing really well, and then you'll have something bad happen, and then the media sort of piles up because that's how the Premier League media, the English media is. And so I think he's going to take some time to fit in there. But Koulibaly, from everything that I saw in Serie A, was one of the top defenders, and especially backed up with Thiago Silva is perfect for him. That's like the perfect player to learn from and to perfect your gameplay in the Premier League.
मतलब साथ में उनकी केमिस्ट्री बननी है बस. आई नो दैट थियागो सिल्वा इन अ बैक फोर थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन मार्क है सच में बोलूं तो, लेकिन लाइक वी शोड इन द फर्स्ट लेग आई थिंक वी शुड बी फाइन, स्पेशली कंसीडरिंग इट्स अ यूरोपियन गेम. यस, अगेन वना बस जो बोल रहे पीपल डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू लाइक द स्ट्रीम, एंड अगेन शाउट आउट जाता है द मिलान कॉर्नर एज वेल एज टॉक फुटबॉल एचडी as well as a second channel by the way. Yes, World Cup coming for cricket lovers out there, don't forget that. लेकिन यहाँ पर एक और आई नो जकारिया की बात कर रहे हैं क्विकली बिफोर गोइंग आउट टू द नेक्स्ट गेम एंड द प्रेडिक्शंस एज वेल. कुश अगेंस्ट जकारिया, मैन दैट वाज अ पैनिक बाय. मतलब आई नो दैट ही इज अ डिसेंट प्लेयर ऑन हिज डे फॉर स्विट्जरलैंड, लेकिन यूवेंटस के लिए यू हैव एनी रिपोर्ट फॉर जकारिया?
I actually haven't played Zakaria play enough, so I don't know if I would even be the right person to say.
He was very sparingly given at Juventus, right? As in, that's a fair point. After
definitely, because I don't even remember him being on the field that much.
Right.
Otherwise, I would have known who Zakaria is.
Yeah, Zakaria, what I have seen Zakaria, he's best in a single pivot. I know he can play in a double pivot as well as a center back. Tuchel to wing back बना रहे थे उनको, luckily नहीं.
But even at Juve, whenever he played, he didn't play in a single pivot. He was playing alongside Locatelli. तो
Exactly. इसलिए शायद फीचर नहीं किया ना, क्योंकि उसके परफॉर्मेंसेस उभर के आए नहीं जहां तक मैंने देखा है. स्विट्जरलैंड के लिए आप देखिए, स्विट्जरलैंड के लिए he has played a lot of single pivot.
Yeah, he has played there. He is responsible and he's good on the ball. People call him the octopus. And that's how Chelsea की player were referring to him कि we are going to sign the octopus. So अभी just एक report आई थी where he was saying कि I hope I didn't make a mistake. So let's see what's going to happen because he is a decent player. But then I believe कि यार you got this guy, you got Carney Chukwuemeka, who last time I think played as well for Chelsea coming off in the second half. तो बहुत बड़ी बात है. I think he is going to be Broya. Yeah, he scored his goal. I think for me, Carney is a great player. बहुत ही प्यारी signing है for Chelsea, better than even Zakaria. I think who is probably here on loan. So no big deal. देखते हैं. Zakaria का मौका है.
मोल्ड कर सकते हैं. That's the best. Even Cassette है. He's a guy who's come from Inter. Again, he is a prospect as well, who's done decently, I believe, at youth level. But again, Zakaria's case is complicated because Potter doesn't really play with traditional DMs. Exactly, he wants, as in, people who are kind of a bit more fluid, and we know that not very different in terms of what Tuchel used to do. But again,
Loftus-Cheek का खेलने का reason ही यही है because he's that dynamic kind of a player. अब देखो Brighton में भी he had got Caicedo who was dynamic, who could carry the ball, who could be pulled in those tackles and everything. So it's very visible. तभी Jorginho नहीं खेल रहे हैं and people talk about, I think वो injury का एक issue है, but then मुझे लगता है कि ये particular reason है. Jorginho बहुत stagnant है.
हाँ, लेकिन वो ये आई थिंक 5-man मिडफील्ड में आई स्टिल सी जॉर्जिनो बीइंग एन इंपॉर्टेंट कॉग, क्योंकि हमारी जो लीडरशिप है ना, समय आई डोंट सी एसपी स्टार्टिंग दीस डेज. आई नो थियागो सिल्वा इज देयर, लेकिन वी नीड अ वॉइस. तो जॉर्जिनो एक वॉइस होते हैं, मतलब दैट ऑर्केस्ट्रेटर है ना, दैट इज समथिंग दैट वर्क्स फॉर चेल्सी इन माय ओपिनियन. बट अगेन Gladbach, yes, Utkarsh is a Bayern fan. Obviously, he did score against Bayern, I remember, for Gladbach, so that's good one, Utkarsh. Yes, Cassette is a great person. But उसी पॉइंट पर भाई सब लोग प्रेडिक्शंस हो जाए. Milan, Chelsea, everyone in the house, भाई, put in your score predictions. Again, do not forget the prediction league members and even others. भाई बोल दीजिए. I don't know, जी भाई आपसे लेते हैं ये वाला. Me and Kush are pretty sure we'll be biased here, लेकिन जी भाई से लेते हैं. I know he's already called Milan, लेकिन what's the score line, man? Even goal difference might be important in this tie,
Yeah, because पहला गेम तो बहुत ही ज्यादा खराब था. I think इस point of time पे I'm gonna go with Milan, like I said. Looks like it could be a draw, बिल्कुल, but I'm gonna say 2-1 win for AC Milan. यार मेरे लिए 2-1 AC Milan. They have to be defensively solid. They don't have to let Reece James, Aubameyang, Kai Havertz, or even Cucurella or Ben Chilwell down on the flanks. They have to be very solid on the left and right hand side of the flanks. Defensively, I'll have to see who's gonna play. Is someone care fit to start, Kush?
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, that's the tough one because if Simon Kjaer is ready, then they're probably going to push Kalulu to the right and play Kjaer with
Correct.
Tomori because Tomori has
Yeah.
had Tomori played his worst game in a Milan shirt
He
against
did.
Chelsea
He did.
by far. So he was all over the place, just running around like crazy. It was just it was not good.
Yeah.
So we
Bad
definitely
one.
need that backing with Kjaer, but I don't think he's going to be ready for that game.
Yeah.
Theo
So
Hernandez
that's
will be
how you'll
back.
play. Theo would be
Kukurea
back, so
says
I think yeah.
happy with the draw. लेकिन हाँ,
Okay,
Dest has been poor as well. I must add that. Dest
He's been
ऐसे start नहीं
disastrous.
किया.
The entire line of AC Milan defense was really abysmal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
terrible.
No
Sirf
structure,
only
no
Kalulu
nothing.
was relatively
Huh.
okay, but the rest were not. And I found out yesterday Dest is the second highest paid player in Milan. So I don't know what
Wow.
that move was.
Wow.
Yeah. They took his
That's some
Barcelona
challenge itself.
contract, I guess. So he's making $3.5 million, and the highest
Bhai
paid player is
sahab.
Theo Hernandez, who makes $4 million. So Dest is second highest. I don't know what move
Can't
that
believe
was,
that,
but
bro.
yeah,
But
they
great,
signed
great.
Give him
Dest because
time,
of his,
probably he would work.
yeah, they signed him because of his versatility. Like he can play as a right
Yeah.
winger up front. He can play as a right back. He can even play as a left back at times.
Left back.
But
Yeah,
he's
he
not
can.
looking good at all.
Yeah, and then again, I must say that we were targeting Dest as well, but हुआ नहीं. Just so that I know, me and Zeebai had a lot of conversations during those days. But again, let's move on. I know, by the way, Barca का हमने discuss कर दिया है, Chelsea का discuss कर दिया है. I did miss in Group C Bayern का match because again, मैंने assume किया भाई it is Viktoria Plzen. Come on, it's going to be a cakewalk. Come on, quick predictions हो जाए बाकी matches के. Zeebai, कितने गोल से जीतेगी Bayern? I know Musiala is out. Probably
8-2.
they'll. Huh? 8-2 as popular scoreline for a Bayern match. Victoria Plzen did look good against Inter, I must say. लेकिन वो ये 2-0 was
Inter
still kind of
against look
terrible.
good होना easy है.
Yeah.
कोई नहीं और यस आई नो बाय द वे चेल्सी का भी अलग जो दूसरा मैच है काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. यू कैन आर्ग्यू दैट इफ इन केस वहां पर एक रिजल्ट आता है जहां पर 3 पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं, से फॉर एग्जांपल टू सॉल्सबर्ग और टू जाग्रेब, देन इट्स अ मस्ट विन फॉर ईदर मिलान और चेल्सी. इसलिए बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट मेरे लिए. अगेन दिनो बस जाग्रेब में है एंड वी हैव एक्चुअली फेस्ड अ लॉस. So I don't know, man. Salzburg, they look good. Sesko probably one for the future. Bhai, any comments on Salzburg? लगता है they'll probably surprise Zagreb.
They always come up with all of these talent that the world is looking at just to take them away from the team, and they have been bringing so many great players. Noah Okafor and Sesko and Brendan Aronson, जो भी Leeds पे आ चुके हैं. You could see that they are filled with top talents, but talent is not just enough to win a Champions League match. But they have been surprising the way the intensity that they put up on the pitch, क्योंकि वो youngsters हैं, वो भूखे हैं, उनको prove करना है, उनको world को दिखाना है कि that they are also great footballers. So every time they step on the pitch, one thing is very very obvious for Salzburg is that the intensity that they would play with. So it doesn't really matter which team they are against. They will be beaten, but I remember, I think Salzburg, was it Salzburg against Milan? No, not Milan. वो Bayern last season, I think.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
Bayern के against
पहले
match
leg
था.
में they did brilliant.
Home pay, they did a very good job. They were very close to winning
Again.
that game as well, but then away जाके they got defeated 5-1 something like that. So
इस बार
they
भी
always put up a
मिलान
very
के
good
साथ
show.
you're right actually. Milan, I think Milan, I think it was 1-1, right, Kush?
Yeah.
तो you cannot, and again even against Chelsea, bro. So मतलब it is something that you have to respect. मतलब I know it was not the ideal Chelsea समय, but let's move on from Chelsea and of course Group C as well. और यहाँ पर quickly मैं दिखाना चाहूँगा Group A में. I know by the way panel भाई आप लोग को अगर लेट हो रहा है कहीं जाना है तो भाई do let me in the private chat. लेकिन again we'll be taking a quick set of predictions, and by the way यहाँ पर quick shout out मैं also देना चाहूँगा to Daily Football Madness. We are going to be live there, I think in about half an hour. So meanwhile we'll take a quick few predictions of the other groups, and I know that there are a lot of neutral fans as well. तो यहाँ पर कहाँ ग्रुप ए से शुरू कर दे. Napoli, man, Napoli has been crazy. I know with Kush in the house. It does not feel good, Kush. Again, मैं अभी temporarily आ जाता हूँ अपने मिलान अवतार में भी थोड़ा सा. भाई Kush, जो हुआ था Napoli का game against Milan, I really expected more from Milan in that game as well. But yes, we have spoken about Quaradona. लेकिन Napoli, man, what about Anguissa, man? As in, for me, he's arguably the best box-to-box central midfielder right now on form. Simple.
Napoli are clicking right now as a team, but the only annoying thing is about their fans and how much you have to hear them talk. Outside of that, it's you're actually really happy because Napoli's been almost irrelevant for so many years now. So seeing them perform, जैसे वो खेल रहे हैं अभी, and the fact that they the way that they beat Liverpool, Ajax away from home, so they've been absolutely killing it for sure.
Coach, do you think last time they had a very decent run of form, but then towards the very end, फिर वो जाके वही
हाँ
crumble
हाँ
कर
वही
गए.
होएगा इस साल
So
भी
कुछ
उसमें
ऐसा
कोई डाउट नहीं है वो अभी सुनना
हो रहा
पड़ेगा
है.
बस ट्विटर पे सबका but 25 games in it's just going to be the same Napoli fans complaining oh we didn't do it again because that's usually what ends up happening with them who
Yeah.
Yeah,
knows
but
I've
you
been
have to
wrong
say that they
before
have built a very good squad now with all
yeah
these Politano
I have a
and
habit of
Raspadori,
making wrong predictions at times. I predicted my friend would not get married to the girl that he was dating, but अब मैं कल उसकी bachelor party में ही हो गया हूँ.
Whoa,
So apparently
क्या
I'm
बात है.
not good with
Congratulations,
predictions.
man. That's
गुड वन बट अगेन मतलब मैं तो बोलूंगा भाई नापोली आई थिंक स्पेलेटी एज इन आई बिलीव ही इज वन ऑफ दोस अंडररेटेड कोचेस मतलब काफी अच्छा है मतलब व्हाट ही काइंड ऑफ गॉट दैट टीम गोइंग especially after like again they have recruited well but in senior going and all they've kind of come well but again we'll take a quick prediction by the way Z bhai they're playing Ajax at home Ajax
Yeah.
are without Tadic और लास्ट लेग में क्या होता हम सब जानते हैं it was a I know red card for Tadic which kind of helped but क्या बोलते हो मतलब Napoli again taking 3 points.
Yeah, I don't think so कि यहाँ पे Ajax has a chance because Napoli तो उनके home पे they defeated them with 6 goals भाई साहब. मतलब Ajax will come up with a better game plan. They would not be that open जिस हिसाब से they were at home. Probably they undermined Napoli, but I seriously doubt Alfred Schroeder. A lot of people have been telling me कि यार team काफी change हुई है. Let's be patient with him. Let's see कि what will get at. He has got new players in Kudus and Bassi at the back of the defense, right back पर Rinch
Yep.
खेल रहे हैं. So whole team has changed. They don't have their goalkeeper. Pasveer is playing over there. I would agree so, but that doesn't mean कि Napoli cannot bash them again. And they are enjoying it. The thing is कि they haven't been used to scoring 5 goals, 6 goals, 4 goals यार. So they
बिल्कुल
are enjoying it now. And every time when they play, they're like चलो यार इनको पेलते हैं. So they
I
get on the
think,
pitch and
but
they start to score the goals.
technically, Atalanta are on top of Serie A. I know that it's just what a
Yeah,
matter of goal difference or something like that. But anyway,
हाँ.
by Neeraj,
20
yes,
points हैं
Liverpool,
ऐसे top 3 के.
correct. Yes, for Liverpool, it's huge. Again, after coming off that dramatic loss against Arsenal, Zebhai, I don't know, man. Focus, wala. I don't think yet. Matlab, are you saying that? Matlab, I know a lot of people are saying that Liverpool का season गया, they should have focused on the cups. They can win cups. नहीं.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं है यार. Knowing
Exactly.
Liverpool, I don't think so that's possible. ये नहीं करेगा जर्गन क्लॉप. ठीक है यार, वो मड्रिड करती है. वो लिवरपूल नहीं.
It's
Zebhai,
it's
आ
way
गया
too
अपने अवतार में,
early.
but कोई नहीं.
Yeah, it's way too early. They can easily
Exactly.
win 38 games in अभी 30 games बची हैं.
यार
आधी
मुझे
बची
याद
हैं.
है Kush is right because I think was it the season before I think the last year of COVID right वहां पर Man City at this point were somewhere around where Liverpool are there और Man City went on to win like I know that's Man City we're talking about they went on to win like crazy number of back to back games और भाई जीत ली लीग आराम से so that is a different thing altogether that happens by the way thank you Dayspan again भाई big shout out to everyone yes I've not been taking every comment लेकिन मैं जितना हो सके ले रहा हूँ but star करो काफी comment टाइम रहा तो लेंगे हम Ajax has the same problem somewhat Inter fans has the goalkeeping you can't play third लेकिन Pasveer has been decent I would still say that
has been decent. Just that game and उसके बाद वाला game and उससे पहले वाला game. Like the last 3 games, Pasveer has not been the guy. But again, यार, you are coming up in the Champions League. You have to be at your best levels. And no disrespect to Pasveer, might be a legend and stuff like that. But Onana से Pasveer पे आना was a big.
yeah exactly I get that absolutely मैं तो फिर भी hope करो भाई Pasveer does it for Dutch team somehow just kind of bringing the World
Who
Cup
is the
sudden से
goalkeeping option for Dutch?
अरे आपका Silesen है Silesen
और ये हाँ Silesen है भाई.
हाँ
अरे I love his
Tuchel
smile,
शायद अभी
man.
तो रिटायर नहीं हुआ जहाँ तक मुझे मालूम है तो आई थिंक ही इज आल्सो नॉट सो
Please, यार.
ये पेनल्टीज के लिए हमेशा
ओए मजा आने वाला है सीरियसली.
एग्जैक्टली चलो क्विक प्रेडिक्शन यहाँ पर लिवरपूल का रेंजर्स इट्स एन अवे गेम रेंजर्स में एटमॉस्फेयर इज समथिंग दैट यू कैन नॉट डिसरिगार्ड आई नो दे हैव नॉट बीन इन फॉर्म एट ऑल लेकिन जी भाई क्विक रेंजर्स लिवरपूल everyone in the chat
I think Rangers weren't that good in that game. Goalkeeper बहुत ज़्यादा फार था. Nunez को he kept quiet for a long time, 4-5 shots अकेले बंदे ने सेव किए. I believe कि Liverpool के जो problem है it is much more tactical rather than something else. Has been Klopp ने कुछ changes करना चाहा Arsenal के game में that didn't work, backfired. 4-2-4, 4-4-2 in defensive phases. Jota का वो utilization as a false 9 probably didn't work. Xhaka ने अच्छे से उस पे marker रख रखा था. I believe कि इस Rangers के मैच में I think it's going to be a win. Can't be, man.
Okay,
Liverpool
so we'll
2-0
take
something.
that and we move on to the next group. You know what? Let's just jump group now. Let's go to. By the way, यहाँ पर Napoli Ajax भाई सब लोग including me have gone for Napoli despite Ajax having a must win. आप लोग भी बता दीजिए Napoli Ajax क्या होने वाला है मैच में because they're missing Tadic. I know Klaassen might come in, but still I just feel that. Coming on to PSG's group. Let's talk that. I know
अंकित भाई आप ग्रुप दिखा सकते हो इधर
हाँ
लोगों
ग्रुप
को
ही
दिख जाएगा
ग्रुप ही
screen
दिखा रहा
पे।
हूँ let's actually go to the group the रुका ओके चलो आ जा भाई PSG 7 पॉइंट्स है बेनफिका बट मेसी माइट बी मिसिंग जी भाई बिग न्यूज क्या
ठीक
लगता
है
है
एक दिन का काम कम हो गया मेरा आई वोंट हैव टू गो लाइव फॉर दिस गेम
वो ठीक है लेकिन भाई मतलब इज इट वो क्लियर था आई नो दैट सर्जियो रामोस का रेड कार्ड वाज फार मोर क्वेश्चनेबल नहीं
काफी हार्श था मतलब पीपल आर गोइंग क्रेजी इन सीरिया एंड लीगन मतलब इवन कुछ वुड नो इट सीरिया में तो ऐसे मजे से रेड कार्ड दिए जा रहे हैं लीगन में भी दे हैव गिवन लाइक व्हाट 30 रेड कार्ड्स अप टिल नाउ बहुत बहुत बकवास सीन चल रहा है सो आई थॉट कि वो रेड कार्ड हार्श था बट जस्ट फॉरगेट अबाउट द रेड कार्ड दे प्लेड रियली पुअर had nothing they had nothing in the team Kylian Mbappe again उसके बाद से building up to another controversy
मैं देखा था आपका ट्वीट
yeah
अब लाइक डायरेक्टली लाइव ही बात करेंगे उसके बारे में भाई मतलब वो बोलता है वो पोजीशन चाहता है भाई जी भाई लेकिन एक मैच में नेमार और मेसी नहीं थे दिख गया भाई थोड़ा सच में बोल रहा हूं
दिख गया और इट्स वेरी क्लियर जैसे ही वेंट टू फ्रांस ही सेड कि आई एम मच मोर कंफर्टेबल आई हैव मच मोर फ्रीडम एंड उससे पहले भी बोला ही लाइक्स टू प्ले विद ओलिवर जिरू एक स्ट्राइकर के साथ एक टारगेट मैन के साथ बीइंग ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड और इस साल ही हैज बीन वेरी डिसअपॉइंटेड बिकॉज पीएसजी काइंड ऑफ प्रॉमिस्ड और पीएसजी क्या प्रॉमिस करेगी वही खुद ही पीएसजी है ही ओनली प्रॉमिस्ड टू गेट अ वेरी गुड स्ट्राइकर इन द टीम तो वो एक स्ट्राइकर लाना चाहते थे जिसके अलॉन्ग साइड ही वुड हैव प्लेड ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड एंड देन दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई यहां पे नेमार को सेल करने की कंट्रोवर्सी स्टार्ट हुई सो आई काइंड ऑफ बिलीव कि कुछ ना कुछ तो हो रहा था रिगार्डिंग नेमार तभी नेमार और एम्बापे का वहां पे लगा रहता है just because Mbappe wanted to get the players that he felt he would like to play alongside with मेसी के अगेंस्ट उसने कुछ नहीं किया if he would have done anything against Leo तो फिर तो बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत होने वाली थी wouldn't have played football again but ठीक है they are struggling they don't play good football Galtier has to sort things out and even against Benfica I would say कि बहुत अच्छा गेम खेली उस दिन should have scored more goals and ये टफ गेम होगा
तो आप क्या देखते हो मतलब आई नो सोलेर प्लेड इन दैट स्लाइटली अटैकिंग रोल वेरी सरप्राइजिंग मेरे लिए बट व्हाट डू यू थिंक विल बी पीएसजी सेटअप विद मेसी मिसिंग
8 रोल तो है उसका अंकित भाई कार्लोस सोलर लाइक्स टू प्ले इन दैट 8 रोल वो मिडफील्ड में थोड़ा सा अटैक पे खेलते हैं लाइक्स टू स्कोर सम गोल्स एज वेल हाउ वुड दे सेट अप विदाउट मेसी देयर इज नो अदर ऑप्शन दे वुड गो विद नेमार दे वुड गो विद सराबिया प्रोबेबली
Yeah,
वही
that's
they
what I
have
would say. Sarabia is the only option looks like वहाँ पर rest Mbappe from PSG and PSG will win. Oh my God, कश बहुत ही extreme.
That is actually true.
Yeah, okay. भाई अभी ये वही है मतलब you can argue that it's a must not lose. Ideally it's a must win लेकिन must not lose है क्योंकि PSG either Kush it's at PSG's home so it's at basically Paris. So what do you think? PSG Benfica first leg में Benfica I must say they have like a couple of players. I'm a huge fan man. Enzo
Fernandez
guy.
is
He's the next big thing coming out of Benfica.
Phenomenal
Always
player. A lot of European teams wanted him, and then somehow he ends up at Benfica. It was perfect move for him. Sometimes these players from South America they make those big moves. चले आते हैं big बहुत बड़ी team में, and then they can't meet the expectation. But at Benfica, I think it was a perfect jump for him. Reputationally,
David Neres.
yes.
David Neres has been getting
Neres,
that,
he was also
limelight.
targeted बहुत सारे I know बहुत सारे clubs targeted. Liverpool I think were very strongly linked to Neres as well. I remember that. Or again Gonzalo Ramos arguably he should start for Portugal. People are saying that is
Antonio Silva again their young defender who came up who played alongside Otamendi. I think वो जो 18-year-old defender है and man he didn't let Mbappe do anything. बहुत ही प्यारा 18-year-old defender they already calling up कि उस बंदे को पोर्चुगल में खिलाओ सिल्वा he could have scored a goal as well पिछले मैच में he had a very good outing
so again coming to the predictions people हो जाए भाई it's PSG Benfica Kush by the way Juventus are playing Maccabi Haifa उन्होंने finally they got a couple of results and then Milan did what Milan did to them so I know you wouldn't want or would you want Juventus
Maccabi Haifa का गेम देखा था Kush और Ankit, did you see that game of Juventus Maccabi Haifa?
Yeah, it wasn't as convincing as it should have been.
Yeah,
So
but
scoreline
but
doesn't tell you the
Milik and
story.
Vlahovic are doing it. मतलब साथ में मतलब
yeah,
if the
they're. I
supply
mean,
is there.
those individually, those are good players. I don't know if Milik is
Yeah,
actually. I don't even know if he's fit for the next game. But
last game तो खेला था.
oh, he did. अच्छा,
हाँ
उसने खेला था.
कॉस्टिच मिलिक और व्लाहोविच कर देंगे मतलब let's hypothetically speak वो 3 points तो must be है must to
They
have
were
3
poor
points for
against
Juventus.
Maccabi Haifa, very poor. Could have, मतलब वो तो अलग दी मारिया ने कर दिया उस मैच में. Otherwise मैं बता रहा हूँ, Maccabi Haifa had a great game. They controlled the game against Juventus, one of the big clubs in world football. And Maccabi Haifa का मैंने कल तक नाम नहीं सुना था. I was surprised the way they approached the game, even against PSG. I have to give it to them. Maccabi Haifa, seriously, what an atmosphere, यार. मजा आ
yeah,
गया.
Juventus is struggling in general. I mean, they also have their fair share of injuries, and their football is incomplete. I don't even know what's going on. अगर उनका salary bill भी देखो, and you look at how much they're paying their players. I mean, they were comparing it to Milan's salary bill. They're overpaying everybody. No name guys जो कोई appearances इनके 7 million उनको मिल रहे हैं हर season के. So Juventus needs an up down full overhaul in their approach to football. And I also think थोड़ा सा similarity उसमें और Chelsea में है इस department में कि या 2 games 3-0 जीते तो हैं, पर एक टीम के पास तो कोच ही नहीं था और दूसरी टीम के पास 4 प्लेयर स्टार्टिंग वाले मिसिंग थे. So those are
मैं
two
डिनाई नहीं कर
results.
सकता उस बात को let's put it that way. मतलब I'm trying to be positive bro. कुछ finally भाई कुछ दिखा है. अब वापस से सच्चाई बोल रहे हो लेकिन hard is fact. The truth is always hard to kind of take. It's a fact लेकिन I won't
Yeah, I
deny
think
that.
it's the confidence for Chelsea will grow, of course, but
Yeah.
they have to get tested against the bigger teams to actually see
Yeah.
is it going to translate into the big
Yeah, so
games.
Juventus are in the same boat. You're right, especially it
Exactly.
being an away game. So let's put it that way to Kush. I know being an Italian fan, but I thought like maybe you want Juventus to kind of get through. Like in Benfica have looked crazily good. So PSG and Benfica going through, both of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the truth. Europa League भाई in कर दो already tweet कर दो Juventus के लिए. I would suggest अभी, but I know a lot of people are asking about Group G, and yes, we are coming to Group G. भाई Group G में to be very honest, it is kind of given with Man City. यहाँ पर ज़्यादा बात करने की मतलब है नहीं to be really honest about it. लेकिन again I don't know man मतलब ये हाँ fantasy के लिए
Oh.
important question ये है जी भाई हालैंड कब रेस्ट
नहीं,
करेंगे?
नहीं, I made a video, but पता है मजे में एक मैंने वीडियो बनाया how to stop Erling Haaland.
या
ठीक है,
मैंने
but
देखा था.
that video was basically trying to analyze how Haaland plays, what are his best moves, मतलब क्या कैसे खेलता है tactically, how he's a player. And the only thing I found about him, how to stop him, was कि उसको delay करो, उसके ऊपर defensive cover डालो, just get the men on him as quickly as you can, just delay him for that split second, and even then you would not have that confidence that he's not gonna score. अब ये बंदा next level पे खेल रहा है. It's not just Erling Haaland, it's the right mix of Haaland at Manchester City, because it's very good, I would say, combination. A great world-class player with a great world-class team. I don't think so that both needed each other to be great, but then when they were joined together, they have formed and they have gone on to become something. Bhai, I didn't even know could have happened. बहुत ही बवाल. 20 goal in PL. Come on, man. I predicted 15 goals for Erling Haaland in this first season. अभी 8 मैच में इसने 20 गोल मार दिए. City, next level. You have to give it to Pep Guardiola.
ये देखा था आपने आप दोनों में pretty sure you would have seen it. Pep Guardiola again I'm talking about Premier League यहाँ पर कि भाई खा पिला कर इधर रेडी किया आर्टेटा को और उसको वहां भेज दिया और अपने 2 प्लेयर्स दे दिया कि भाई मेरे लिए कंपटीशन लाओ, चैंपियंस लीग के लिए प्रैक्टिस हो रहा है मेरा.
I saw that tweet.
ज्यादा हो गया भाई. Come on man, चेल्सी के लिए थोड़ा सा I think that's a little bit of insult, but कोई नहीं, we have to accept the fact sometimes. That's
नहीं, but you honestly see a better team than Manchester City right now.
No, that's a reality. As much as Arsenal would like to stake their claim, the honest truth is nahi. That's simple as that. Bayern Munich on their day can be, but Bundesliga mein hakte kabhi. We know that as well. Man City don't go off at all. Lekin again, I
Even
think how
against
Copenhagen
Dortmund in Der Klassiker.
Oh yeah, drought. Man, Sevilla, Sampaoli, yaar, matlab, I'll take input from both of you. By the way, if I'm not wrong, it's at Dortmund. Yes, crazy draw हुआ था last में. It was almost like it was there written in the stars कि finally by Dortmund एक draw ले लेगी Bayern Munich के साथ. लेकिन Kush, coming to you, Sampaoli, as in how do you rate this guy as a manager?
See, the thing is, I have to be fair. As the Milan corner, I'm more into Serie A and Milan. Sevilla, I haven't seen too much play. I just know Sousa is playing there, and that's about it. So I'll
No
pass
worries.
it off to
But you know what?
Zeeshan.
Just talking about Sampaoli quickly, as in this guy has been really been there for so long. He's been there for so long. Lekin quickly, I know Z bhai will probably be wanting to put his comments. Lekin for me, Z bhai, I think if I'm not wrong, Argentina under Sampaoli were big question marks. सच में बोलूँ तो, or even like Sevilla, yes, he was probably good back I think 2016-17. But apart from that, क्या किया बंदे ने? Marseille maybe to some extent. लेकिन क्या लगता है लोपेटोगी के अपग्रेड है कि नहीं?
No, tactically not. He's
Yeah.
not. I would say not a better tactical manager than Lopetegui, because Lopetegui's Sevilla was great. You saw the last season how they played with the two main defenders being there. अभी उसके बाद से Koundé and Carlos gone, so the team has been suffering. I think he was one of the managers to get sacked because of the team, because बंदे रिजल्ट्स नहीं ला पा रहे थे. And ऐसा नहीं है कि he didn't made the signings. Nianzou को लाया, Teles को लाया, but they aren't the same level of players like Koundé यार. And a team which concedes the least amount of goals in the La Liga goes on to concede like मतलब मजे में खा रहे हैं गोल. तो sacking मुझे थोड़ी सी harsh लगी, but it was long time coming, especially after that loss against Dortmund. Secondly, Sampaoli, I have seen his first stint, वो जो 16-15 में थे at Sevilla. He was doing a very good job. बहुत बढ़िया सेविया बहुत अच्छा कर रही थी उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे. एंड देयर वर रिपोर्ट्स जहां पे संपाउली कहते हैं कि आई वांट टू कोच लियो मेसी. तो आई वाज लाइक उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे अर्नेस्टो वाल्वेर्डे वाज नॉट डूइंग सो वेल, एंड आई वाज लाइक अच्छा ठीक है, बार्सिलोना पे संपाउली, व्हाई वुड ही बी ओवर हियर? उसके टैक्टिक्स मैच नहीं करते हैं. बट देन ही वेंट ऑन टू बी द मैनेजर ऑफ अर्जेंटीना. I had huge expectations from him because he's that powerful manager जो कि would want you to give everything, passionate है, keeps on shouting in everything, would give the players a fight. And मेरे हिसाब से वो Conte like, if I have to put it for the people, Conte like एक manager है. तो tactically I won't say that he's sound, but then I think Sevilla यहाँ पे they need that
अरे
expanding
must
more
win
than
है
the
जी भाई.
tactics.
वो ये new manager bounce, you never know. It might happen.
You
Sevilla
need
and
it.
Europe. लेकिन arguably you can also say Sevilla probably for them a point will be also good for Europa League, and they'll probably go on to win the Europa League as always. Who knows with Sevilla?
Yeah,
that's
but I think
Sevilla's
Dortmund
history.
ज़्यादा better होगी Champions League में. My money is on Dortmund again in this game. वो big manager bounce होता है वो नया manager का. अब I believe कि यहाँ पे नहीं हो रहा है. Dortmund I think they would win against Sevilla.
Yeah, I think even I'm calling that. Let's move on, and I know काफी times हम discuss करें Group G again. I think pretty sure the panel is going for Dortmund and Man City to get out of this. यहाँ पर कुछ surprises नहीं होने वाले. I know there are Real Madrid fans in the group as well. और यहाँ पर मैं एक shout out देना चाहूँगा Shakhtar के लिए. For people who do not know, again there has been trouble in Ukraine. Again, I hope everyone is safe there. I know there's a lot going on. अभी भी unfortunately that's a fact. But I have to comment by मैंने cover किया था. I think was it match day 2? Shakhtar actually beat Leipzig. Was it 4-1? And man, the things I'm hearing today that the players are going through, man, in that situation you are coming out with that performance. I think we already spoke. Zeeshan ने बोला Madrid is a guy that you might want to really watch out on, especially UCL fantasy के लिए. But when it comes to Real Madrid, I don't know. Kush, just quickly, for you, are Real Madrid that team that probably are still the favorite for the Champions League despite Man City's form? Quickly,
I think Real Madrid are always the favorites for Champions League. No matter what's going on, they always somehow pull it off. We saw it last season how they did it, right? They just came back in every single game. I feel like there were multiple rounds where they were not necessarily favorites, and they just managed to pull it off. Obviously, they're going to get out of the group. If there's anyone that comes close to Manchester City, I think Real Madrid would be one of those teams, just based on their current form, their Champions League victory.
And Don Carlo, bro. Come on, we both are fans of Don Carlo, aren't we?
Yeah, Carlo Ancelotti can pull off a lot of different things. So he's the perfect person to be there for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I have to say that. I have to agree. As much as Real Madrid was the team which eliminated us last season, not that we didn't eliminate them the previous season, just saying that I'm talking about Chelsea here.
But एक और बात यहाँ पे, Ankit, let me just put in here for Shakhtar. Can you guys see me? Something with my camera. दिख सकता हूँ मैं? Okay.
नहीं, अभी नहीं.
मेरा option. Okay. USB हिल गया. Okay, yeah. Well, about Shakhtar, they haven't been playing at the stadium for so long. We don't have a stadium, man. Things are very bad there, and so you see how the team has been struggling and the way they have been performing. So big up.
बिल्कुल. I think again it's a Shakhtar's home where I don't know. मतलब, to be very honest, I am not aware of whether they're playing that. That Zee ने बोला
I
that
don't think
for
so. नहीं, they
them.
have been playing in Poland या कहाँ पे पता नहीं. I've read the
Oh
reports
my
में
God.
पढ़ रहा था उनके बारे में. They haven't been playing at their home for like a long time, 5-6 years now, and recently कहीं
Yeah.
और पे वो खेल रहे हैं. I don't know अभी current इस scenario इस साल में क्या हो रहा है, but possibly वहाँ पे तो नहीं खेल रहे होंगे.
Yeah, but I must say Shakhtar को यही बोलूंगा. It was 2-1 I think in the reverse leg. Shakhtar have played Real Madrid quite a bit. So again, added to
Yeah,
that first leg, मतलब there is something to take out of that. मतलब I won't be surprised if there is a surprise here. When I say surprise, people I mean a draw. ठीक है? When it comes to Real Madrid, as much as I would like the other way around. लेकिन quickly मैं अच्छा Warsaw हर्ष को
yeah.
बता thanks for हर्ष, thanks big up आपको बिल्कुल भाई. Yeah, Napoli तो है डार्क हॉर्स हम बात कर लिया. Yes, by the way, people who are joining late, we have discussed about 4 groups. We are discussing the others quickly. हम predictions लेने वाले हैं. So do stick on to then. Again, do not forget to like the stream, check out our panels channels in case आपने नहीं किया अभी तक. It is tagged below. But it is basically at Warsaw, so that will be interesting. It's a new thing even for Shakhtar and Real Madrid. But यहाँ पर Leipzig का मैं quickly लेना चाहूँगा जी भाई. मतलब again Nkunku आप जानते ही हो stories लिंकिंग से literally अभी comparison चल रही है between Nkunku and Werner की भाई कौन सी ज्यादा गलती होगी चेल्सी के लिए. But कोई नहीं. But quickly भाई आपको क्या लगता है Leipzig coming out of the group or no?
Tough है. Leipzig convince नहीं किए मुझे. They've got good players, but I don't think so कि मतलब there are many reasons to doubt Leipzig over there, but यहाँ पे it depends on Shakhtar. It depends on Shakhtar a lot how they play against them. इन दोनों के मैचअप पे काफी कुछ डिपेंड करेगा. My money would be on Leipzig to qualify.
Yeah. Again, Leipzig are playing at Celtic, so that Celtic atmosphere is something that we cannot rule out at all. मतलब as much as Celtic hasn't been the Celtic जो जानते हैं भाई, ultras Celtic in Europe is a different element in terms of the atmosphere. But कोई नहीं.
Barca played against them.
And
They had like 82% possession, man.
Yep.
And we came off as losers इस मैच में. मुझे याद है अभी भी. Next level
बिल्कुल.
था.
चलो let's move on. I know Zee bhai you have to go as well, and यहाँ पर quickly, so here everyone panel agreeing it's basically going to be Real Madrid versus Shakhtar Leipzig के बीच में. who's your call Zee bhai? Finally आपने किससे बोला Leipzig और Shakhtar?
मैंने Leipzig.
Leipzig, okay.
Nkunku would be
I'll take that way. Nkunku playing more Champions League football this year. ज़्यादा हो जाए उसका experience. Again, I'm hoping अभी तक हुआ नहीं है. For people wondering कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ भाई. लेकिन quickly Zee bhai before going Group D देख लेते हैं एक बार quickly. I know Group D भी interesting है because of Tottenham what they are and Conte what is in Europe. And I know I'll come to Kush as well in respect to Conte. लेकिन Zee bhai क्या लगता है मतलब Conte the way he's played in Europe far more negative than what he usually is as well. पता नहीं यार मुझे लग रहा है strangely that this might be another year of Tottenham not going through. What do you think?
Yeah. But I was putting my money on Marseille. I don't know what the hell happened to Marseille. They were doing so good in Ligue 1 and उसके बाद से they are bottom of the table यहाँ पे. Sporting
They did win their last game though. Sporting का goalkeeper was sent off early.
हाँ,
they
yeah.
did
वो
beat Sporting.
3 गलतियां किया बंदे ने and he gave away the goals very cheaply. But I think ultimately 3 मैचेस बचे हैं. टॉटनहम खींच ले आएगी यार. 3 मैचेस बचे हैं. I don't see. हाँ खींच लेगी, कर लेंगे वो.
मतलब मैं इसलिए भी पूछ रहा हूँ क्योंकि ग्रुप में फ्रैंकफर्ट है भाई और फ्रैंकफर्ट के साथ ही है ये मैच. I know that's basically at home for Spurs लेकिन
नहीं
देखिए
पता नहीं क्यों स्पोर्टिंग हैज डन अ डिसेंट जॉब अप टिल नाउ. आगे के 3 मैचेस बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो गए. कॉन्टे आई थिंक इस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे ना ही इज पुटिंग मच मोर फोकस इन द प्रीमियर लीग. आई थिंक ही फील्स कि वो टॉप 4 लाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट उसके लिए. ही वांट्स टू बी देयर इन द चैंपियंस लीग नेक्स्ट सीजन एज वेल. इस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे I would still say कि Spurs can make it. 3 more matches to go. 2 spot में से 1 spot लेना. I think they'll be able to make it. But Frankfurt and top टीम कौन सी थी वो Sporting इनके बीच में होगा who qualifies यार. पता नहीं. Marseille have disappointed me.
That's a fair because Frankfurt came off weekend में बहुत ही बुरा loss. I think it was a 3-0 loss. I know Marseille भी हारी थी weekend में. तो up and down रहा है Marseille का. लेकिन I think it's Tottenham at home, so maybe I'll agree with that. But I know Zee bhai you have to go again. हम मिलते हैं भाई. Again shout out to Daily Football Madness as well as Talk Football HD. We'll see you Zee bhai in a few minutes. But hope to see you soon. चलो.
Yeah. Thank you. Kush. See you soon, man. Thank you, Ankit bhai. Thank you, chat.
All the best for the game.
Thank you. Yep. Bye-bye.
चलो मिलते हैं. I'll see you. Kush, you're still around, right, for a few minutes?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah,
Okay,
Marseille's form
perfect.
this season has been pretty disastrous. I mean, they've been very hot and cold, mostly cold. So it's going to be hard to see Marseille really pull anything off here. I think Tottenham and Conte, they'll eventually pull something off. निकल जाएंगे group से. I have somehow I feel like Frankfurt might pull it off over Sporting, but
Okay, you
let's
do.
see.
Well, again, I think it comes down to this game because Frankfurt playing at Spurs, again, Spurs, for just to people or to let you know, yes, Conte's team hasn't been doing in terms of the gameplay. They're missing Kulusevski big time for me. I believe he's still doubtful for this game as well. So, but for me, I think they lost their fitness coach, and I think that was a huge thing. And I think the players are much more motivated for that reason as well. So there's this aspect, especially being a home game after they lost him. So I believe it'll be difficult for Frankfurt. By I take a prediction as well. So your Kush is going for Frankfurt. भाई सब लोग बता दीजिए आप लोग chat में Tottenham versus Frankfurt क्या होने वाला है in the game. Yes, Conte in Europe. दो words हो जाए Kush. What do you think? Conte, why hasn't it done well in cup competitions? What any logic there?
It's hard to say. I mean, for a
Yeah.
significant number of years when he was at Juventus, when he started off, he was more of the motivational coach, like Gattuso is
Yeah.
at Valencia. They're more about getting the guys pumped up to get the job done. Tactically, he wasn't what he's become now. But he does have that defensive style of play. He's a little bit more cautious, is somewhat in line with Max Allegri as well. Allegri got the coffee negative. Conte is still a little bit more expressive with the kind of way he plays. Hard to say, man. Premier League does test you. So, but I still think, I mean, the fact that he pulled off Champions League last season, I still think they can grow as a team. And Kulusevski's rise has been interesting because when he was at Juventus, he just
Yep.
wasn't the same
He's the
player.
main creator, bro. He's the main creator. Like जो missing होता है ना, when Kulusevski missing, again आप लोग भी join करिए chat में. Everyone do let me know again the predictions of Tottenham versus Frankfurt, because for me, if he's missing, they need someone on the wing. And again, we can quickly talk about Perisic as well, because Perisic is that guy, right? As in, maybe the fact that he's playing in a similar role as what he played in Inter. I thought that Perisic can do what he was doing in Bayern. As in, why not play Perisic as one of the forwards and play him the Kulusevski role? Do you think Perisic can do that?
But I think Perisic plays on the other side though compared to Kulusevski. I think
Yeah, he's better
Kulusevski-
on the other side, but it's not like he can. He's done that even for Croatia, right? At times he does play. He does kind of rotate. So again, for people out there who might be thinking why I'm saying that, again, Son, if you remember, he had actually started off in Bayer Leverkusen on the right hand side, very surprisingly. And so I'm just saying that why not just play with that formation with those two kind of switching, rather than going with a negative mindset, which Conte seems to have done recent times. But I don't know, man. I've been picking Perisic in my fantasy teams, और भाई उसको
Oh, अच्छा,
start
हाँ,
नहीं कर रहा.
bias है
Maybe for
मुझे
this
तो
game, I don't know. That's I'm guessing. But okay, Darren is saying Frankfurt winning 2-0 away. Okay, interesting. Absolutely.
wow.
Child Space One, welcome to the channel as well. Definitely, Kush has great content. Yes, by the way, again, shout out to the Milan corner as well as Talk Football HD, as well as by people. There are two other channels that are linked below, so please, give them a subscribe. Absolutely, you'll see a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
content
sorry,
coming.
I didn't put out a video for Milan Juve because I was at a friend's bachelor party, so I was gone
Oh
away.
yeah, I have to
away
give
for
you
the
a
whole
shout out,
weekend.
bro. I know it's the fact आपने बोला है, लेकिन भाई Kush has been literally flying for the last good few hours, and the fact that he still made it to the stream, big up to Kush, absolutely. और भाई ये पहली stream है, hopefully हम बहुत बात करेंगे.
Absolutely.
Especially me being a Chelsea fan who has a soft corner for Milan, I'm pretty sure we'll meet a lot of times now.
For sure.
But
For sure.
okay, just Valo says Spurs won, Frankfurt won, Conte doesn't do well in Europe. Exactly, but somewhere it's got to change. As in, me and Kush are both kind of scratching our heads कि भाई अगर आपको याद है तो Chelsea ने just Valo as a Chelsea fan, big up. आपको याद है तो चेल्सी ने क्यों रिक्रूट किया था कॉन्टे को भाई आफ्टर लुकिंग एट दैट परफॉर्मेंस विद द इटालियन टीम एट दैट पॉइंट वर नोवेयर क्लोज टू गुड और जो किया था उसने यूरोज में आई थिंक यू कैन से आर्गुएबली दैट ही इज आल्सो ही इज गॉट द टूर्नामेंट football mentality, but somehow when it comes to club football his focus is there on the league in week out is what I would say. But again, इस बार स्पर्स के पास है squad, so maybe they can replace Kulusevski with someone, who knows. Let's see.
I do wonder, like, in this case is like there has to be some degree of awareness as a coach and as an organization. I think they probably are aware that they cannot necessarily win the Champions League, and they have
Okay.
a little bit less. I mean, they have a different type of financial strain with the stadium and everything. So I wonder if their focus is to become more of a mainstay in the top four in the Premier League. कि पहले वहां से शुरू करते हैं, then we'll slowly build into doing something
No,
more.
but Conte is a winner, right? As in knowing Conte, I personally doubt. He was asked a question as well. मुझे याद है वो react कैसे किया भाई, मतलब why are you even asking that question? That's how it is. And I think he was asked about even for example Doherty, that right wing back. Why isn't he starting? He actually said, "Do you want me to lose games?" But
Yeah.
ironically, he started in at the weekend.
That's wild, yeah.
Conte doesn't like, as in the way you're poked, right? As if you poke Conte, you are in for a surprise. That's what I would say. I'm a Conte fan, it's just not a
Yeah,
Spurs
it's
fan
interesting.
by far.
Vocally, he's very aggressive, but on the pitch, he's more of a defensive coach.
Chalo, fair enough. Anyway, so people here, looks like people are going for Frankfurt to surprise Spurs. मैं खुद जाऊंगा Spurs के साथ. Many reasons बोला है. The reason being that they lost a fitness coach. I think emotionally, there's more motivation. Plus the fact that it's at home, so the stadium atmosphere will count for something. Frankfurt, as much as जो बारसा के साथ की थी last year, we all remember. इसलिए जी भाई को basically I was just kind of having a funny banter there. But anyway, the fact is that Frankfurt, at this point in time, after losing Kostic, hasn't looked the same Frankfurt for me, despite getting a decent result, a draw in the first leg, जो हुआ था match day 3 में. Plus they're coming off a loss, so those are some issues that I see at Frankfurt. But talking about issues, let's move on to basically the last group that we've not discussed about, Kush, and that is obviously Group B. Now this is for me again, बहुत लोग बोल रहे थे group of death is basically Barca, Inter और Bayern वाली group. वो हो सकता है अभी भी, fair point. But I genuinely believe, like, someone who's actually a neutral will say that this group is probably that. Who would have said that Club Brugge? Club Brugge is probably rocket, bro. As in Jutgla, again, talk about Barca. Barca fans, I know they have saddened to see Ferran Jutgla kind of playing for Club Brugge, but that's fantastic. But just, I'll take a quick prediction out of the group. I know it's match day 4, which is ironically the most important match day, but considering जो हुआ Atletico Madrid, I know they won at the weekend. Do you think Atletico Madrid and Simeone, have it in them just in the big game day to kind of come back and get a victory? Or do you think Club Brugge is too much of a surprise to deal with?
I mean, Simeone and Atletico Madrid both have the capacity to be able to get out. I think Club Brugge is probably done. I think they're going to go through. I'm pretty confident. I think it's more of a 3-man race between Porto, Leverkusen, and Atletico. And Atletico, of those 3, you would probably give the best chance to. But Porto is also a dangerous team. I remember Milan played them last season in our Champions League group, and we lost both games to them. So I think we drew one of them. So they're a solid team. So I think Atletico is probably the favorites amongst the 3, but Club Brugge has been amazing, especially considering the fact that they lost Charles de Ketelaere to Milan. 36 million by their number 1 player. I think last season he had
Lang is still there, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Noah Lang is still there. Last season he had de Ketelaere had, I think, 14 goals and 20 assists, something like that. Losing that player and still performing this way in the Champions League, I think really impressive. But Noah Lang is still there, so they still have significant amount of quality. But to be fair, this is I want to be careful how I phrase this. This is one of the less reputationally heavy groups, right? Atletico is really the only big team that you can say.
Yeah, and you know what? I won't be surprised if one of these groups is actually in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and that's how that's why the group stage, the drawings and all are so important at times. As in I remember talking about Porto. By the way, people, Atletico Madrid are playing at home. Remember, it's at the Stadio, Espetretano. But anyway, let me just check it once quickly. Yeah, it's Porto away to Bayern Leverkusen. Yes, for Chelsea fans especially. आप लोग देख रहे हो Hudson Odoi hopefully playing for Bayer Leverkusen. I think he'll probably start because I think Wirtz is still out and there are a lot of injuries that Bayer Leverkusen are dealing with. Lekin, talking about the groups, why I'm saying the group of death, because Kush is right. As in, we had that season where we played Porto, where we won the Champions League, just putting it in, all of a sudden. Lekin, Porto for me has been really, really as in under par. I don't know, man. We spoke about Benfica getting a lot of talent. Sometimes I don't know, man. As in when it comes to Portugal, but I've seen that in every season, like you got Sporting in one season, then you got Porto, then you got Benfica. Or it's simply the fact that at the end of the day, there are a few youngsters who are available in Europe and Joe Lilia, and maybe Porto are going through the cycle as a team which are probably not going to be there in Europe. Like, I cannot imagine that. They're doing pretty well in Europe, right? Generally.
Yeah. Did you ask me something specific? Sorry, I think I may have missed that.
No. I was just generally asking your opinion about Porto. But yeah, Atletico 3-0. Abhishek is going for. Okay, Atletico don't have a proper direction. They are hit or miss. Yeah, that's true. But they're coming off a victory, Manjunath. So maybe that's something to read. And like Kush said, most importantly, Club Brugge are actually getting a lot of points already. So who knows that playing away for them a draw might be good.
I mean, Atletico has to find that direction. Aren't they paying their coach like 20 million or something a season? Simeone.
Wow.
Yeah. I was stunned when I
And
saw that.
Felix, bro, as in Felix, again, he came off the bench on the weekend. Yes, I know the Griezmann situation is solved, but again, for Atletico, will be interesting what they put out. Korea, I don't know if Mudit is in the house. Wana Buzz, big up Aapko, bhai. I know he's a huge fan of Korea, and Korea actually scored a brace at the weekend. So you can argue that they have enough goals, only if they use them enough, right? Yeah, Xabi Alonso, now Bayer Leverkusen, yes, of course, telling that he'll be in round of 16 before Xabi. Let's see, as in again. Uh, Bro, what do you think about Xabi Alonso as a coach? Like, again, there are calls saying that either Xavi or Xabi Alonso are best suited to replace Pep at City, bro. As in, that's a long shot. But generally speaking, as in, Xabi Alonso as a player was really, really, I know that you have to go, but just quick thoughts about Xabi Alonso becoming the coach of Bayer Leverkusen. Remember him as a player, pretty sure, right?
Yeah, of course,
Uh,
of course. Yeah, Xabi Alonso is one of those players, right? When the second Galacticos happened, when they signed Cristiano Ronaldo, they signed my Kaka, as your
Correct.
shirt says back there,
Yeah.
and Xabi Alonso with Karim Benzema. So it's amazing to see how much Benzema has lasted. I mean, everybody else is gone and he's still doing his thing. But Xabi Alonso was, it's one of those stories you have to watch it sort of unfold. It's very new. But if there's anybody who's won the Champions League with Liverpool, I think he had a lot of success with Real Madrid. So he has that experience. He's played under the best coaches. So you bring those philosophies into your gameplay. If there's anybody who can succeed, it can be Xabi Alonso, but early to say.
Yep, interesting. Again, bhai, मतलब thanks a lot, Kush, for coming on. Yes, I know, मतलब हमने 1.5 घंटा बात की. Kush, despite as in a journey that he's had for many hours, his year, and we've discussed lots. Again, I'm hoping for a best kind of UCL day. मतलब I won't be very dissatisfied अगर coming back to Chelsea just for a second because of Chelsea Milan. It might be one of those 4-all that we had with Ajax. That is something that I would take any day because draw अच्छा है और अगर goals आए तो और भी मजा आएगा. Especially when our target Rafael. I know I've not gone there, but we'll probably talk over it over the summer. I'm pretty sure. अभी time है उसके लिए. We'll come to that. The Reece James and the Rafael Leo battle. But again, great to have you. And again, people, भाई जो भी लोग जुड़े हैं, first of all, do not forget to like this stream. Certainly the likes that's the YouTube algorithm, that's not something that I created. So you have to put in the likes. Hopefully अपना जो like target आप देख रहे हैं नीचे वो reach कर दीजिए और of course अपना subscribe target भी hopefully we'll get there this month itself. But yeah, definitely just come on your blues. But again, all the best to Kush. Kush, any final words? What are you looking forward to most this match day? Of course, apart from the Milan match.
A bunch of goals from Milan, obviously. 3-0 is too much to handle, man. That bothered me for a long time. The main thing with that is, when a result like that happens, it opens the door for a lot of criticism for Serie A. And, I already started hearing people say, AC Milan, if they were in the Premier League, they would finish mid-table at best.
Oh, that's crap. That I won't buy. It's probably talk sport. As in, they don't know shit, bro. And I'll be very honest here. मतलब वहाँ पर एक चैंपियंस लीग का मैच देखते हैं, यहाँ पर हम पेल रहे हैं, हर एक मैच सेरिया का देख रहे हैं, हम यहाँ पर झंडा उड़ा रहे हैं. भाई सेरिया भी देखने लायक है. मतलब मैं तो बोला हूँ, again I'm kind of wearing the Serie A jersey for now in my mind because I would push, because for me, honestly बोलूं, जहां पर सबसे ज्यादा competition है, जहां पर as a neutral you would love to watch the matches, it's Serie A period, bro. It's so simple right now as things stand. Last 2 साल से especially, but एक different call. What do you think about Serie A this season? Who's your call? Napoli?
Serie A is great. The only problem is when you lose like that, you open the door for it. Even it's your own mistake. But you just have to shut it down by giving Chelsea a big loss. Because unke commentators, they just forget the fact that Napoli thrashed Liverpool. They just forget these things. They just remember specific things about their own.
Inter getting a result in Barca, I know the ref held, but bottom line is they performed well. As in,
exactly.
And Milan were missing players, so I have to buy that. Despite being a Chelsea fan.
For this season, I would say it's hard to say. I think AC Milan are probably still favorites if they keep playing the way they played against Juventus. They already beat Inter as well. Big results: 3-2 against Inter, 2-0 against Juventus. That means Milan is feeling themselves again this season. And if they can get a good result against Chelsea, I think it can really set a new benchmark for them, because losing 3-0 but then coming back to win big and already having beaten Juventus will give them the confidence with 4 starters missing. So that's where I feel like the game sort of sits. It's a must-win for Milan, not just to get out of the group, but just get their confidence back in the Champions League.
ठीक है तो भाई उसी नोट पर विल एंड बट बिफोर एंडिंग क्विक यहाँ पर शाउट आउट है हम लोग कल वॉच अलॉन्ग करेंगे इधर ऑन ऑलमाइटी स्पोर्ट्स प्लस और ऑलमाइटी ब्लूज एफसी यस बिफोर दैट विल डू अ प्री मैच सो सब लोग जुड़िएगा भाई अगेन कुश इफ यू आर फ्री यू आर मोर देन वेलकम ऑलवेज बट बिग अप टू एवरीवन जो भी आया और अगेन शाउट आउट जाता है आल्सो टू द मिलान कॉर्नर एज वेल एज हमारे चैनल तो है ही टॉप फुटबॉल एचडी एज वेल लेकिन इवन डेली फुटबॉल मैडनेस वेयर आई एम गोना बी लाइव इन जस्ट अ फ्यू मिनट्स तो या विद दैट नोट लेट्स गो एंड लेट्स होप फॉर सम मैडनेस ऑन मैच डे 4 and match day 4 trust me history says that it brings the most madness तो भाई सब लोग आ जाए बस BS Jaren I'm not doing the watch along आज but कल definitely करेंगे because I'm going live on the channel like I said चलो much love to everyone Kush great to have you hopefully
Thank you.
one of many
Thanks to everyone in the chat. Great time.
okay see you guys all the best bye